Alrighty, let's get started here for a nice Saturday stream. Hey everybody in chat. Hey Foxy, Starbell, Hugan. How you guys doing? How's life? Is life good? Is everything good for a Saturday right now? Because if it's not, it's okay. We've got Bird here. We got Bird here with us. We got Cody. He's gonna hang out with us on the stream for I think most of the stream today, at least for the point where I'm like fishing, and then if I'm gonna go do PvP stuff, I have to go put Cody back because otherwise I'm gonna like freak out. So hey, what's up? Happy Saturday. We're gonna start the stream off pretty normal when it comes to like, you know, chilling for a little bit while we wait for people to start hopping into the stream. It takes like 45 minutes to an hour. So for the first little part here, we're gonna do Mirage Isle, and then after that, I don't know. We don't really have any super crazy plans for today. We're just kind of here to help answer questions and just chill with you guys, right? Cody, he's just chilling. Recently he's liked to look at him. His eyes are closed. He's just chilling on my chest. This has been his spot lately that he likes to be at, just hanging out. And he's rubbing his whole face against me because he just wants to get pets right now. But yeah, so no plans for today. Fox, you're here from the free-to-play version, Legacy Arcades. That's cool. I think most people generally come from both, and they're the same game essentially. It's just one is a subscription model that you can. There we go. One is a subscription model that you can subscribe to get everything, and the other is buy to play. And little baby Cody, he's hanging out. He's gonna be here. Look at him, his eyes are closed and everything. He's just hanging out and listening to me talk. Look at this little thing. Look at this little thing. You wanna go on my shoulder and hang out? And show off to the stream and do cool things? What do you wanna do? No, he's happy with his scritches. Shiran, hello. Gwyn or Billy Cool, hey. Oh, what's going on? Did you hear something? You're gonna hear a lot of things outside because the window's open, so you'll see Cody react to things. What do you mean? He always sits chill. He just likes pets, dude. This is literally the Cody is so affectionate. He just wants affection all the time and like cuddles, and he wants to lick your face. Look at this little thing. Look at this thing. This little foot. So he'll be here. This is a Cody stream now. He's so cute. He's wiggling. Mochi wants to lick off all your freckles. That's cute. What are you doing? Don't eat my shirt. What are you doing? Come up here. Step up. No, he's happy where he is. So we'll have Cody here for the stream. At least for most of it, I think. I don't have any super crazy plans for what to do today. So we'll have him around. And I want to do Mirage Isle because, you know, we're getting pretty close to getting a mermaid bath. And then after that, I don't know what else I want from Mirage Isle. In fact, let me look at that really quickly because once I have the mermaid bath, am I just done doing the Mirage Isle Fish Fest? Or is there anything else that I actually really need to get? I don't even know. Besides the title. I actually kind of want the title, which is the same cost as the mermaid bath. So I have to do everything again. But I don't know. I'm not super crazy about it. You're so cute. Marshmallow used to be like super affectionate, you mean? Or what did Marshmallow used to do? Thanks for sending love to Cody Hugan. He deserves it. So look at this thing. He's just so happy being here. Oh no, I have to talk to this guy. Okay, so there's the time catcher token, which is actually 200 coins. The mermaid bath is 180. Getting first symbol next to your name. I think you get a lot of them just for like completing quests and stuff, right? There's a few different ways to get little symbols next to your name. There's a lot of hidden achievements too, for ways you can get that. Otherwise, you have to get your title rank up, and unless you don't like any of like the beginning titles that you get for like stage 1 and 2, these ones I think. In which case, yeah, you'd end up waiting for some other cooler ones. But there's quite a few that I've unlocked over time. Some of them I got from like the DLC or whatever that I guess is Arcade Unchained only. On Legacy, I don't know. I don't even know if you have access to those specific, unique icons. Oh, Marshmallow used to try to eat all your freckles? I see. He doesn't know. He's so cute. Look at this bird. Look at this thing. He's just sitting there. His eyes are closed. He's happy. You've got the Yada Butcher and up to 2nd rank soldier. Yada Butcher? Yada Butcher? Butcher? What's the Butcher one? If you have unlocked the Yada, then you're pretty much good, right? That's like everything. Because the Yada's down here, it's like stage 5. Right? So you have like all these right now. You have unless there's like a specific one that you want. Oh, you get it in Noriat? I don't... Is there one that you get out of Noriat? I've done all of Noriat level 50. I think that's just a title, right? Not an actual icon. I think there's a title you get out of Noriat, but not not an actual icon. I might be wrong. I don't even know. It's been a long time. Oh, it's just the title. Okay, I see. Anyways, let me look at this really quickly. So what other things do I actually want out of here? This legacy thing, which I can add to my my coins inside the history house. This stuff I don't care about. There's some hats. I don't really care about the hats. So yeah, I think the only thing I really care about is Mermaid Bathtub, maybe the Time Catcher token, but I really don't care. And Bugira's Legacy. Also, does anybody know what this does? Because I remember seeing like a YouTube video about what the octopus boater does. And I think it has some kind of effect where it like shoots water at people. So I have to get it, right? Why not? Why not get this thing? Just for the hell of it. I'm not sure. I feel like this was actually somewhere. People have talked about what this thing does. Or maybe it doesn't do that. I don't even know. I don't remember. I wonder if I can find it. Octopus... Pink Octopus Boater Arcade. Can you please tell us... Oh my god, Coolodon. It's a usable skill when you have a fish pack on your back and it increases swim speed. Oh. Oh, I don't really care about that. Okay, well, never mind. It's not that interesting. Foxy made a mistake yesterday with a bet. That sounds like what most people end up doing. What, did you lose your house? In a video game? Crimton, planning to come back to Arcade since there's literally nothing else to play. That's not true. There's so many things to play. What are you talking about? There's amazing games out there right now. You should go check them out. Tons of things that I've been playing off to the side as well. But anyways, do you know which EU server is most active, or should you just play in US Tyrannos, which is high ping? I think Alexander on EU for Arcade Unchained is like the most popular one to a similar scale of Tyrannos, but I don't know the balance on those servers, and if anybody else here is in EU, maybe you can give Crimtump a better answer than whatever the heck I just said, because these are names I don't know about, right? I play in the NA servers. In general, if you're going to stick to high ping, you can do that, but then you're kind of locked off on some classes you can play. You might go frontrunner, or frontrunner. You might go like a frontliner class or something that's a little bit slower, not super crazy, where attack speed doesn't matter as much. Okay. Nothing as good as the arcade. You only play MMOs. What? Guild Wars 2 is really good. Final Fantasy XIV is amazing, but there's just different games for different purposes, right? I don't discount any game. All MMOs are awesome. And they all have their own specialties too. Generally, I like arcades the most, of course, for everything, especially the combat. Does Cody know how to play peekaboo? Nope. You told him if he failed in Awakening, he could kill me? Oh, that's not too bad. At least you just come right back. You tested them, but you like arcades the most too. Yeah, arcade has its flaws, absolutely, like every game. It's unfortunate, but it's hard to try to get away from this combat system because I'm a big fan of it and all the other stuff that you can do in the game. You have to teach him to play peekaboo. I don't even know how to teach a bird to play peekaboo. I don't even know where to begin with that. All right, he's there. Oh, and you sent him to jail then, huh? Foxy. It's terrible. I actually stole something from the middle of Marianople on stream the other day, and it wasn't reported at all for like 48 hours, or however long it takes until the footsteps go. Literally nobody reported this thing in pretty much the most common area of Marianople for 24 to 48 hours, which is absolutely incredible. I guess nobody wanted me to go to jail, even slightly. It's fantastic. That means I can cause all the crime I want and nobody's gonna punish me. Because the community is like, this is fine. He's a streamer. I don't know. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just people missed it. Cody, what are you doing? Where are you going? Come back up here so that like everybody can see you. Oh, hey, we're back. Okay. Fish time. Let's get this out of the way early into the stream so that I don't have to do it later and before everybody gets here. And we can just have conversations and answer questions and such while we do this. Also, I have to use my nice Dawn's Drop boots, which I accidentally didn't put on, but I'll do it later. Nope, this is the Win server. I'm playing on Win, and North America Win. Alright, I have to wait, because I still have a cooldown since I just put on my fishing rod. So we will just chill. If you guys have any Arcade questions, feel free to ask. Looks like we're getting people in the stream faster than normal, so that's kind of nice. We can actually get conversations started up a little bit quicker. So if you guys do have any questions about Arcade things, this is a really good place to ask and learn about different mechanics or hidden mechanics or hidden things or whatever I've talked about on Reddit and those sort of examples. Or, you know, different proficiencies or theory crafting, all that good stuff. Whatever you guys want to talk about. I don't know what's going on with this car outside. Is there a trick to awakening? Absolutely not. What was it that we used to do, Sharon? You take off all your armor, and then you pray to the RNG goddess, or goddess, or gods, all of them, all 20 of them, and you hope. And that's pretty much it. That's how we played RNG games back in the day. Look at this baby bird. He's always gonna be a baby, even though he's 4.5. 4.5? Yeah, he's like 4.5 now. I'm really not paying attention. Your daggers keep crystallizing. Oh, nice. Already, can we just end with that? No, not really. I'll try to do a little bit more. Yeah, it's just RNG. It really is. Like, your daggers might have a hard time, but then you might just straight shot up a couple of armor pieces, no problem, right? Without any issues, without any failures. So eventually RNG balances itself out. You don't get lucky here, you might get lucky somewhere else, and it kind of sucks, but you know, that's kind of how it goes. At least there's fail stacks, so every time you fail, the next attempt is a little bit of a higher chance to succeed. So that's kind of nice. We didn't have that in the past, so consider that quite a luxury. We used to spam roll and wait for stability, yep. Absolutely, and from what we know now, that slash roll literally has nothing to do with the game, because it's actually a different script being run. Like, a completely different script. It's just a Python script you can actually, like, manipulate, which, of course, would technically be against the game, right? But, yeah, that's an actual thing, hilariously. But it was fun, yeah, that's exactly. What do we know? It's like gambler's fallacy, but in different ways. It's just silliness, that's all. Well, what do we know? We have no idea. That's how the game is made. Used to beg people for RNG success? I didn't do that. I don't think you ever did that. You'd never beg people on your legacy character. Nope, not that one. Just one lucky fish and then we're out of here. We can go do other stuff. People would beg you. Oh, that's fair. Oh, so you're really new on legacy servers, huh? I would still consider playing on Arcade Unchained, because at least in Arcade Unchained you don't have to, like, pay monthly to keep your housing up or anything. It's just a one-time payment. So if you like the game, and you like it on Legacy or the free-to-play game, it might be worth you investing just, what is it, like 20 bucks? I think it's on sale right now, to just get the game one and done for Arcade Unchained. honestly. It's, yeah, you'd have to start over, but it's a long-term benefit, right? Long-term, it works out. It is monthly, but in Legacy, you have to pay to keep your housing up every month, right? Because only Patron gets to renew taxes on housing. But on Arcade Unchained, that's all included as a part of the game. There's no subscription fees or anything in Arcade Unchained. Just in Legacy, in the free-to-play version, there's a monthly fee for like a lot of the stuff and progression. In Arcade Unchained, it's just a buy and you're done, and that's it. You get everything. And the only thing you can pay for additional to that is cosmetics. Or 1 labor potion. But I'm not going into that. We already did it yesterday. That's fair, yeah. Yeah, then at least you get to play Legacy for a little bit, and if you ever do get to the point where you can go and invest 20 bucks into the game, one time done, then you can always have that chance later on. You'd have to re-roll the character, but it's still, I don't know, I'd say that it's generally pretty worth it. It's a lot of a stress-free environment when you only have to pay once and it's just your game forever, right? And still, Legacy's a great way to actually know if you like the game in the first place. And it sounds like you do if you've played for that long, right? Just something to consider, that's all. By the way, for anybody who is looking to buy Arcade Unchained, I don't know if it still works, but they had like this what is it called? Like refer a friend program, and I don't know if it's still there because supposedly it ended, but we still have all the links to refer a friend. So if you are going to buy Arcade Unchained, make sure to use some friend's referral code first, because you and them both get cosmetics for it. And if you don't have a friend or you want to support me instead, my referral code is down below in the channel on Twitch. You could always use that code on your account and then buy Arcade Unchained, and you actually get a whole bunch of unique cosmetics and stuff that just comes with using that referral code, which is kind of nice, like before you buy the game. It's essentially free stuff. Actually, I wonder if anybody's used my code lately, if I've redeemed any more prizes, because that could help confirm whether or not it is still active, because I don't really understand the system, and they haven't really made it very obvious for us. So, it doesn't look like anybody new. I think maybe one more person added themselves to mine. Let me see if there's anything I can redeem. No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, I have no idea how it works right now, but may as well try, if anybody is looking to buy the game. Yeah, so we're just going to do a little bit of fishing while Cody's just here cleaning himself. We're doing this for a little bit just at the beginning of the stream, since we're just starting up. We're getting an audience in the meantime. We're getting this Fish Fest stuff out of the way. Last week we actually got first place on stream. Like the fish that I got was a first place winning prize, so that was kind of nice. Now we have the trophy to show off in the history house. You can get the money, you could try Unchained. Yeah, that's fair. It's not even try. Like, if you can get the money to pay for Unchained, you're good forever, right? There is a DLC that gives access to endgame content, like super endgame, but you've got time before you need to do that. Even, it's still technically a choice, it just helps with progression. Speeds things up a little bit. But a DLC mod, I think that is a much better monetization style than monthly and subscriptions, honestly. What do you mean by endgame? Pretty much like when you get all of your gear up to a certain point, you're going to want to progress faster by getting access to essentially another zone, which is a part of a DLC, which is the Garden Zone. And that access is locked behind a DLC, which is on sale right now, but it's usually on sale. Honestly, just buy the game whenever anything is on sale, because they seem to be doing all these sales pretty frequently. And so endgame being like, oh, you've progressed your gear up to a certain point, that it's just a lot slower to progress it after that. Yeah, you have to pay for access to the garden, but again, it's a one-time thing, as opposed to all the... It's a DLC, right? It's the normal DLC monetization, except it's like $10 instead of $60 or something. Yeah, exactly. Well, Legacy, you have to pay monthly for all the... It's different, right? In Legacy, they're expecting you to pay monthly for, like, Patron and all the benefits you get, and Arcade Unchained doesn't have that, so they monetized it very differently. A lot less stress with Arcade Unchained. Because I can, like, go take a break from the game for 6 months if I want to, which, by the way, is a healthy thing to do, okay? If you need to, like, take a break from the game, do it. Don't get burned out on stuff. And people don't seem to understand that. But I can go take a break from the game. I don't have to pay monthly to keep my housing up. I just have to log in every 5 weeks and pay out taxes, right? So there's really no stress there, which is nice, honestly. But in Arcade, in Legacy, you'd have to pay every month, you know, or at least every other month to keep your housing up. And if you forgot, then you're kind of screwed over, and you lose a bunch of stuff, which is really, really... It was never a good scheme, but it existed for so long. It does make things easier, right? Yeah. So all those are bound up with the one-time purchase of Unchained, which they have bundles for, if you buy both Unchained and the Garden. So it's just something to consider later on, right? I still think the Legacy is a good thing for people to at least learn the game and understand it, and then, you know, whenever they can, go and hop into Unchained and get already a pretty good understanding of where to progress and where to start, and, you know, the things you want to do, and priorities and everything, right? Without all the stress of having to pay monthly to keep housing up and getting all these other benefits. Alright, I think we're going to be done here in a second, because I don't want to do this for very long. We'll probably fish maybe a couple more, see if we can get a lucky fish. Right now I got 332, which based on last week's ratings would be still divine, which is probably good enough. Honestly, 5 or 6 coins, not a big deal. But I want to go and do other stuff too. Cody, how you doing? You just hanging out? You enjoying listening to my voice, talking constantly to who knows what? Yeah? Alright, that's good. If you guys have any arcade-related questions about mechanics or theory crafting or builds or proficiencies, this is mostly why I stream, is to help answer your questions and to help give a better understanding about the game. Arcade is a really complicated game. Anything as simple as you'd think, like logging, still has crazy endgame stuff to it, you know, that you have to actually learn and understand and make, like, spreadsheets about. And so, you know, I'm pretty much here to help kind of make things a little bit clearer so that people can understand it. Knowledge in the game is power, but it also is fun, and a lot of people don't get enough into arcades to realize that, and so I'm trying to always spread information, help you guys so that the game is a lot more fun for you, and a lot more fun and competitive for everybody, right? Especially if you're in that, like, competitive scene, or you like to, you know, PvP and do things at the end game. I try to educate people to help make that kind of gameplay a little bit more interesting. My Reddit posts, of course, I put out a lot of information about different mechanics and hidden stuff that people have generally not been aware of, and I think those have been really, really helpful to getting people to understand that positioning is important in combat, that, like, combat awareness is extremely important, and so, you know, I continue to try to do these things because it does make the game a lot more fun and interesting, regardless of however you play, PvE or PvP or whatever, right? There's a lot of value in the things, I think, that I've put out that have been very beneficial to the community. So if you guys have any questions about those topics, we can always talk about them as well. If you haven't seen those posts that I'm talking about, here's my Reddit profile. There's a lot of important stuff pinned to the top of it. So I can only pin 4 articles. I think I've pinned the 4 most important ones that I talked about recently. And they go over some pretty cool mechanics like height damage bonus, how loot drop rate works, target prioritization and damage fall off, and some other stuff as well. These are things that generally people aren't aware of. Alright, cars outside. You think it's gonna get me DMCA'd? For somebody playing music outside for like 3 seconds? I could probably fight that. It doesn't matter, I don't make any money off the YouTube videos anyways. Not until I get 1,000 subscribers, which I really don't care about, because they pay like pennies. That's ridiculous. How do you see what server to go if you want to try out a new server? I know, that's always a tough question, because you can't just, like, see populations in different servers, you have to go and talk to people on each server and be like, hey, is this a popular server? Are the world bosses done? Which faction is more powerful? Which faction owns which content? Blah, blah, blah. And it's really hard to know. So it comes down to like a better... Ooh, I actually got a lucky. What is it? 481. That's actually really good. I don't think I'm going to get better than that. 481. That's here. That's an epic. Well, not really. That's still probably divine, but I think it's good enough. All right. We're done. We're out of here. We're not going to do this. So yeah, it's a little bit tough to actually find what server because there's a lot of questions you have to ask to people, and it sucks, right? So for the most part, I think most servers are pretty good. A lot of them are a little bit emptier and tends to free farm world boss content, but they'll still do it. They'll still do all the content. There's still guilds on each server. But there are definitely clear servers in both NA EU that are just more competitive and more popular for the competitive and PvP scene. And if that's something you're looking for, you may want to think about Tyrannos on NA, or in EU you might want to look at Alexander, I believe, is the most popular one in EU. Otherwise, there are other servers with different kind of situations on them. Win, for example, in North America, the server that I'm on right now, is a lot more like of an underdog experience, where West is a bunch of different guilds that kind of work together to gear up and fight. Essentially the one guild that exists on East for the most part, that owns all the content and has like the craziest gear and such, due to various reasons in the past. And so it's... What? Are you trying to make Cody go nuts again? Yeah, I know you are. So, yeah, now he's doing the head bobbing thing. Look at this thing. He's looking at you. He's looking at you, Sinister Berry. So, yeah, it's tough, Frolomir, because it's like there's a lot of things on different servers and a lot of different situations, and I don't know, it's always very tough to describe servers and such. If it makes you feel any better, there are fresh start servers in both regions. You could try those, or I would really actually suggest just going to one of the older servers, not the fresh start one, specifically because at some point we're probably going to get merges and transfers on these older servers first, and that would mean that if you did choose the wrong server, or you want to transfer to a different server later, you'll actually have that option too. And so you're not totally stuck in your server if it feels like there's not that many people playing, or content that you want isn't being done, right? But the nice thing is that it doesn't matter what server you go to, you'll, well, except the fresh start server, but for any old server, you'll still have all of the cross-server instances. You can still do content with other people in other servers. You can even team up with them. And there's still things you can do on any server. That make it so that at least you're not totally bored, right? You have always things you can accomplish, guilds you can join, and things you can participate in. A penny's always good luck, even if it all adds up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, YouTube's pennies don't add up, because I think they only pay you if you get like $100 or something, which means that unless you actually get $100 over how many years, they're not giving you anything. So it's, you know, it's very similar to how they do it on Twitch. They only give you a payment if you've earned $100, and then they'll be like, all right, here you go for this month. I think they do a very similar thing on YouTube. You have to get a minimum amount before they actually send you anything. So a penny virtually doesn't mean anything until you actually get, you know, 10,000 pennies. Then maybe they'll think about it. Dusts for the fishing tournament. Is it the biggest fish you've caught throughout the whole day, or is it the last fish you turned in? It's the biggest fish you've caught the whole day. Oh no, Cody, don't poop there. No, get over here. Go to your little box to poop. Cody, poop. Poop, Cody. Actually, I think he already pooped. Cody, poop. Can you poop? Oh, he did already. Alright. No, it's fine. We just went to the wrong place. Cody's actually potty trained. He, he knows that over this garbage can, he can poop there. But he'll still poop in other places if he just really needs to, of course, right? But he knows that that's a spot where he can, which is really cute. Hey, there we go. A penny. Thanks, Starabelle. Appreciate that. Oh, Streamlabs goes off, too. I didn't know that. You know, look at this bird. Just a small bird. Just thing. Pretty small. These little feetsies. Do you want to hang out? Do you want to go here? No, it just wants to hang out on my shoulder the whole time. So anyways, yeah, so we're just answering questions about Arcade things. So if you guys have any questions about stuff, feel free to ask. Later on, we'll maybe do like arenas and stuff. Where am I in the queue? Am I supposed to queue up again now? Wait, why is this broken? Oh, there we go. Yep, I gotta start queuing up again because I'm not in the top 20 anymore. Which I really don't care about, honestly. What is it, 50 more Curios badges? Whatever. I need to do this for fun. I don't really care about it. If I wanted Curios badges, I gotta keep telling myself this. If I really wanted Curios badges, I would be doing what everybody else is doing by constantly queuing up to, like, Free-for-All Arena and doing drills, which is stupid, but they do that. And I don't do that because I don't really care. So I need to stop trying to get in any kind of leaderboard position and just playing for fun again. I used to all the time. I used to just queue up non-stop without any problems. I mean, you guys who've seen me stream for years know that. I don't know what's changed recently, but, like, I need to get back into that motivation of just, oh, let's just queue up and do whatever the hell we want. And lose, who cares? I gotta get back into that mindset. Especially now that I'm trying out a new class, right? I have a lot of reason to keep practicing and getting better. Especially since a lot of these combos are very, very specific in the way that they play. And I have to get better at that. Like, the way that I have my hotkeys set up, I have to go into fights using... I have to press 6-1 G if it's a mage, 6-1 R if it's a melee, or an archer. And I have to follow up in different ways. I have to use Bloodthirst properly to do these combos. There's a lot of different things I have to think about. And I have to get better at all of that. So I need to be queuing up a lot more. Again, 1v1s are not really the best way to show anything, because 1v1s are not the way that this game is designed. It's more of a rock, paper, scissors, honestly. But 1v1s are a great way to practice hotkeys, get better with combos, figure out your timings and cooldowns better, and then, of course, also learn about combat awareness and get better with reacting to certain situations, depending on, like, what buffs and debuffs your enemy has, what buffs and debuffs you have, and what to do at certain timings. It does prepare you a lot better for the class that you play and what kind of things you might expect in a raid versus raid situation, which is actually what the game is more based around, right? And what it's actually more tuned around, right? And how it's designed to be played. Cody, what are you up to? What are you doing? What are you doing on my pants? You're just hanging out? Come here. Come here. What? Stop it. Stop. Look at this thing. He wants to look at you, Sinister Berry. Hold on, I'll go on big cam. Here, you wanna go on my shoulder? Okay. No, he's just hanging out, he's just cleaning himself. You a baby bird? Who's a baby bird? Who's a baby bird? Who's a baby bird? He can actually say that, by the way. He can say, who's a baby bird. It's really cute. And he also says, he says step up to me all the time because, you know, he's just being cutesy. Yep, I know, exactly. And, what else does he say? He says, I love you. I've noticed he actually does say I love you now. And he says it very quietly, but it's very distinct. He said it a few times to me the other night, so he's learning human words, definitely. Yeah, he doesn't know what they mean. I think he knows what step up means because he understands what happens whenever I say it. But he is learning his human words, definitely. He's getting there. Yep, that's right, Cody. You talkative today? You want to make some noises? No, you're just gonna clean yourself. All right. That's fine, too. Alright, what other questions you guys have in chat? Any arcade-related things? Is there anything you guys want me to talk about? I can go over some topics just for the heck of it. Some, hey, did you know ifs sort of thing. Or did you know these things? We could do that a little bit. We haven't done that in a long time. We did talk a little bit about, like, the new, some of the new stuff yesterday. And actually, let me see if I can bring that up again. Hold on, give me 1 second. Add existing. We talked about this a little bit with the new stats. And actually, I got some stuff wrong, because I wasn't reading this properly, actually, and some other stuff, too. So I kind of wanted to go over that a little bit, because Arya corrected me with some stuff which is perfect, because it helps give a better understanding on how these stats work. So we might do that. So I brought that up. I'll probably bring it back at some point. Gamernizer Arcade 2 comment. I know we talked about that quite a bit too. Honestly, 2 to 7 years out. I'm not really too worried about it right now. And they probably still have content lined up for Arcade 1 for like 5 to 10 years down the road. So I'm not too worried about it, because it is in their best interest for people to be playing both games, right? So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there. I don't know. I still think they'll do some kind of announcement early next year about Arcade 2, but it'll still be a very long time before they, you know, give us like an actual closed beta or something we can actually interact with and understand better. So we will see. But I'm very excited about the lore, and I want to see what they do with the lore if the timeline of the game for Arcade 2 is like, you know, 50 years down the line or something like that. I expect that like Aurora is probably filled with abyssal crystals all over the place, and now it's kind of, you know, the Akash coming back in different ways. So I'm excited to see what happens. Dusts, what are the top 5 pets you can spend Diligence coins on? Coming from somebody who just returned to the game. Pets, so combat pets, mounts. I'm guessing you're kind of including in that. I mean, that kind of depends on whether you're talking about a more... Oh, combat pets specifically, okay. Combat pets specifically, so you're talking more PvP, right? Because there's a very much difference between a PvE pet, or a pet that's better in PvE, versus a pet that is better in PvP, right? For example, the bear pet, which you could just get, right? That's not a Diligence coin thing. The bear pet is very good in PvE because it can retain aggro and tank in PvE very, very well. The wolf is very good for damage and as well as tanking as well, and keeping taunt up. The porcupine, however, is a free pet that is just better in PvP. The porcupine is an amazing pet, and it's free. You can get it from Sunbite Wilds, the starting area for Warborn. This is one of the best pets in the game in PvP combat, because it has a true provoke taunt in PvP. It will literally taunt a player to only target this pet for 3 seconds. It's really, really good. And it's a 15-meter range, so it doesn't even have to be close to the person for that to activate. It's an extremely powerful pet. You don't even need Diligence coins for it. This is just an all-around great option. So if we're talking about PvP-related pets, there are a few things in the combat, in the Diligence shop that people tend to go towards. To give you a couple of examples of those, Blobby is one of the best ones you can find. And the reason for that is because for people who are not tanks, Blobby gives a better acting shield in the way that it works. And let me explain that, because there's another different pet that does something similar. So Blobby gives a shield of 20,000 health to you. However, if you do anything, the shield goes away. In other words, if you use any ability, the shield is gone. So Blobby is generally very good as a Power Stone pet, because if you're crowd controlled, while you're crowd controlled, you can pop Blobby's shield, and since you can't do anything anyways, now you have a 20,000 shield above you, and people are attacking you or whatever, and at least you have a little bit of extra shield on top of you while you're crowd controlled. So it works out very, very well. Turns out that shield cannot be leeched, because I have tried that. I've tried to steal the shield from somebody just to see if it would work, and it didn't. So it's actually a pretty good shield, you know, for the most part. Not that anybody would really steal it. Blobby's a very, very good one. Yeah, only I would try to steal that, absolutely. So Blobby's awesome. Blobby's a great pet for that in general. I think that's something a lot of people prefer. But there are some other Power Stone pets and combat pets that are good too. For example, Conquer's Cube is a very good DPS pet, which is why it tends to be a PvE pet, because the armor that you put on it and upgrade give Conquer's Cube some insane damage opportunities in PvE. But it's not tanking, right? Its job isn't to tank. Its job is to kill. In fact, it actually has a very low health pool in the way that it is because of its passives. So Conquer's Cube is a better PvE pet. However, there's the Black Bloom Fang, and this one actually gives you damage resistance for about 3 seconds. Is that correct? It gives you a 30% received damage reduction for 3 seconds. Something like that. Something along those lines. You can look it up on the Codex too. And so the point of this pet is more for a tank, right? You can actually soak up a bunch of damage. It's kind of similar to Blobby, except this can be used whenever, because you can keep using skills and stuff. And if you're already a tank with very, very high resistances, this will ensure that you're not going to die to something. And so Bloomfang is Black Bloomfang specifically is a very common pet you'll see as well in PvP. The Faded Bloom thing does nothing. I don't know why, so don't get that one. I don't understand the point of that one. But Black Bloom Fang seems to be a big choice for PvP as well. Otherwise, I think that's mostly it for the Diligence pets. Lava Spark's not bad because it gives you extra health while it's nearby you. Dreamwinder is nice because it has an AoE stun, but it takes a second to activate, and it's kind of in a line in front of it. It is a Power Stone pet, so it hangs out just on your shoulder. And so essentially when you pop this ability, it just hits anything in front of you in a line and stuns them. So that's kind of okay, but it's not super used over other ones. The Fledgling Phoenix is very interesting. When you get to low health, I think it's like sub 20%, it will automatically give you 5,000 health and then go on cooldown. So that's a little bit different, right? You're at low health, it will heal you for 5,000, but still you can have a 20,000 shield instead, right? So there's another kind of, it's the different way that the Fledgling Phoenix works. And you're right, yes, you can crit that heal if you're a healer, so that Fledgling Phoenix could actually do even more healing. And if you are a mage and you have the Shadow Warrior Shadows, if this thing goes off while you're invincible from the Shadow Warrior Shadows, which also doubles your healing, it'll just give you full health pretty much, especially if you're a healer. So it's actually kind of nice for those particular scenarios. However, still I think that people tend to go for Blobby and the Black Bloomfang as Power Stone pets in PvP a little bit more often than some of the other options. And again, in PvE, people tend to go for either damage pets like the Conqueror's Cube from Diligence, or just other pets in general, because honestly, the Diligence pets are pretty nice, but there are amazing pets you could just get for free from the actual game itself, just using gold, or just traveling to a zone and getting a pet. There's tons of mounts that are extremely powerful as well. For example, like the Gallant pets and the regular pets. So I like to use the Leomorphs, because the Leomorphs have both a stealth, a backdrop, oops, that didn't show that off very well, now I'm stuck in a pull, as well as a teleport forward. And so because the Gallant versions do not have the same cooldowns as the regular versions of pets, I can actually switch between my normal mount and my Gallant mount, and then once again I can do another backdrop, stealth, or whatever if I need to, or teleport forward, and it works out really, really well. I can actually mount swap in the water. In the water I can go on an elk, I can jump forward, I can do a couple of abilities, I can bring out my second elk, and I can jump forward again, you know, do some more abilities to go forward in the water, and this is a very, very good way that I use to catch up boats faster than anything else, faster than even using a death maw, right? I can just do this mount swapping technique, and it's something that requires a ton of practice. But my point is that there are a ton of free pets you can get in the game without needing Diligence that are still very, very useful. Same thing with, like, you know, the this pet for PvP, of course, the Hedgehog, like we talked about before. I tend to use this World Boss pet, which is really nice, which is Harad the Gatekeeper, who has an AoE stun. I'm sorry, it's an AoE trip and a single target stun. He's got both of them, and he does a ton of damage, and he can crit a little bit more because of his passives. So this is an awesome pet for both PvE and PvP that I do tend to use for almost any situation. So yeah, hopefully that gives you some ideas, Dusts, with, you know, brainstorming some options for you. You've had it heal you for like 11k more than a few times. That's good. That was just a year ago. I think there are still better options that we tend to use, but you can Power Stone pet swap too, right? You can swap between Power Stone pets, although you don't tend to do that generally. But if one's on cooldown and you have a chance, you'd swap out for a different one. No internet access. Do you know how to make pet armor? You saw pets killing mobs in gardens. So there's really only one way to make, quote, make pet armor at this point. The way that it works is you'll go to a stable hand, and they have some sets of armor for you, okay? So here, he'll give you some sets of armor. So here's a cloaked, improved pet accessory crate. The other two are for lower levels, so this is the only one that can actually level up and progress, okay? It's essentially Haram gear for pets. That's what this green item is. This will give you a full set of your choice of Gale, Desert, or Lake accessories. It's a full set every time it gives you for 20 gold. And so you'll get 3 things from Gale, which is agility, or you'll get Desert for strength, or you'll get Lake for magic. And they actually, and they're all good for PvE regardless, because they all give extra PvE damage bonuses and PvE resistances. Now at that point, you'll actually upgrade gear just like Haram gear using synthesis, like actual synthesis. So if I go to infusion here and type infusion, you can actually get these infusions from crates, as you probably noticed, ancestral crates and stuff, and you can get mysterious ones from the garden just from killing mobs. The whole point of this is you actually use these, I'm actually going to buy it because that's kind of cheap, and you upgrade and synthesize your pet gear up to a point. When you get to the celestial level of this tier 1 pet gear, you can actually upgrade it through RNG. It's a 50-50 chance for a little bit of an expensive cost to try to upgrade it to tier 2. And tier 2 is what I'm showing off here. Tier 2 gets crazy special benefits. And it's why people really like this for farming mobs and doing PvE content with them, because they literally just slap on PvE damage by 100% for every tier 2 piece. Every single one starts off at 103%, meaning for every tier 2 piece you have, it's doubling the damage again. So, well, kind of, right? It's a plus 100% damage. So, in the end, you end up getting, plus the pet bonus here at the bottom, the set effect, you'll get like 350, 400% extra boosts for damage in PvE from what the pet is doing. This is why something like Conqueror's Cube can just pump out damage like crazy, because these set effect bonuses, plus the effect bonuses in the tier 2 gear, are absolutely incredible for damage. Now, you can once again continue leveling these up and synthesizing these, which will continue further, which will further improve these effect bonuses. You see that this unique one that I have here has 145% PvE damage, not the 103% that starts off at rare. And so this is the kind of big endgame stuff for pets you can do. Again, it's very much the same as synthesizing Haram gear, so which one am I working on? This one. So I can go ahead and synthesize a little bit, and you'll see that it gains a little bit of XP, but I still need a lot more before I can actually get this up to the next tier. Or up to the next grade. But tier 2 alone is just great. You don't even need it to really upgrade. Tier 2 alone, just off the bat, is amazing. So that's why I still have this at rare, right? And I'm not really working on these. But the maximum for these is divine. And from what I understand, Korea already has a tier 3 pet set. So you can actually awaken this again after you get to, like, divine tier 2 to make some other even better version, which I don't know. I don't know anything about those stats. I don't know how that works. Maybe they don't have it. Maybe that was just something that was teased at one point. I have no idea. But, yeah, so that's a thing in Korea at the moment, I believe. The actual Awakening Scroll is right here from any Pet Accessory workbench. And so this is the Pet Accessory Awakening Scroll. It's an expensive thing to make. It's 10 star points. And, some other stuff too. But the star points are expensive, right? And this is a 50% chance base to work. So it's literally a coin flip. There are fail stacks you gain, so, if you fail, then your next attempt will be a better chance of succeeding, but it's an expensive scroll for a pet. People tend to kind of work on their pet gear a little bit later on for this reason, right? Because there's other priorities first before they go for their pet upgrades. I'm glad that helps no internet access. Must be tough since you can't go to the internet to actually get this information. You have to go to Twitch, which is not the internet. Of course, we all know that, right? I wanted to go over some stuff we talked about yesterday and just clarify a few things. So this list, okay, this is the stat changes that are going to be coming with 7.0 or whatever the big patch is where we get these stat changes. And we've talked about this a lot. This is it's been a pretty big conversation over the last few weeks, especially if we are going to end up getting this patch sooner than later, so who knows, right? Now, what this means is that stats themselves are actually changing. So the values you get for like strength, intelligence, agility, and spirit, they actually give you different stats. And so I'm going to make this even bolder so that you guys can really see what's going on here, because it's kind of crazy. You got to look into this quite a bit. So essentially, they are curving stats off for most of these things. And they're even removing things like evasion and parry for most of them, or reducing them massively. And they're adding focus to strength and agility. But there's something that we didn't mention, and it's something that's actually quite important. So while focus is going to be on strength and agility, and while cast time is going to be on intelligence and spirit, it's actually, I don't know how to explain this, but it's, you can't get both strength and agility and benefit from both. It's actually, for focus. Focus and cast time, it's like it's a combination between strength and agility. It's a combination between intelligence and spirit. So if you have 1,000 intelligence, you'll get the 13.7% cast time. But if you also have 1,000 more spirit, you won't get 13.7 more. You'll actually only have like 15%. So it actually calculates both of them when it gives you your cast time, and it calculates both of them when it gives you your focus values. Okay, so for focus and cast time specifically, it's you're going to be going for one or the other. You don't actually have any incentive to go strength and agility or intelligence and spirit, right? Unless you're a healer, then you go spirit and intelligence, but that's not the way that it works, right? So it's a little bit different. It does mean that everybody is going to be using stamina as an off stat, essentially. It means that I'm not going to be going for an agility off stat. I'm going to be going for a stamina off stat myself, right? Because I don't need 2,000 strength, but I can actually pour some stats over to stamina to give myself at least a little bit more survivability and defenses from that, right? So it is a very different game. Yes, intelligence does not give evasion. Archery still gives, so agility still gives evasion, but a lot less evasion than they had in the past. And this does change up the gameplay quite a bit. It makes melees and ranged way more reliable in raid versus raid, because if I do something, or if an archer does something, it's going to hit. It will hit the target, and it will work, right? If the target has a shield, it probably still won't go through shield block, but that's because those people have went to shield to specifically block those kind of things, right? So you'll see a lot more shield block in the combat log, but a lot less of parry rate and an evasion. 1,000 main stat is 200 more DPS. Better to go glass cannon. Well, it does right now, right? Right now, if you have 1,000 of a stat, you get 200 melee attack if you have strength, for example, and you get 400 if you're at 2,000. They actually didn't curve that one off. They actually buffed them. Yeah, that's right, Cody. So at 1,000 strength after this patch, you'll actually have 250 melee attack. And if you have 2,000 strength, you actually have double that at 500. So it's a slight boost in the base values you get for melee attack, magic attack, ranged attack, and healing power. Okay? But, again, the whole point of this is that evasion goes down, parry rate goes down, focus is added to strength and agility, so those players will be able to better pierce through evasion even more, better pierce through block and parry even more. So it's a lot more reliable of a gameplay style for melees and range to do something, instead of just everything getting evaded and literally what's the point of your class in raid versus raid, right? Again, Korea has been pretty positive about this patch. They do feel like the game is a lot more balanced, even though Malediction and Swiftblade tend to still be very, very powerful in the skill sets and the way that they work. Still, if you're an archer, you're going to feel a lot better, especially after the Deadeye changes with this patch, and a lot of other gameplay changes to make archery feel a lot better. Melees also feel a lot better in raid versus raid because they could actually do stuff, and it just doesn't all get wiped out, right? Mages have always gotten the benefit of just when you push a button, it's going to happen and it will hit. There's no way you can evade mage attacks. And so now, finally, melees and archers also actually get that sort of gameplay, right? It's not just an RNG-based evasion system for everything. Although shields will still help, right, against physical damage quite a bit. What do you think will be the soft cap of the main stat? No idea. This is not enough information for us to know what any kind of soft caps are. Period. There's no way. There's no way we can know this. So we'll have to see what it is in the end. There might already be charts from Korea. I don't know. But I did want to go over this a little bit because I messed up some explanation of stuff yesterday, so I wanted to at least say it and go over this again today. Is cast time still capped at 40%? I don't think there's a cast time cap, is there? Does anybody know about that? I'm not a mage, so this is not something that I'm really interested in, and I tend to not know these things. So if cast time is the lowest at 40%, I have no idea. Is that a thing? Does anybody know the answer to that? If it once existed in the past, it probably still exists today. But I've never heard of actually there being any cap for cast time. I have no idea. He's just sitting here, he's cleaning himself. Look at this bird. Look at this little baby. He's cleaning. Just hanging out. Doing bird stuff. There is a cap? Wow. I didn't know that. Oops. pushing buttons here. But alright, fine, Sharon. You want to see my bird? He's cleaning himself. So there is a cap, really, for cast time. So is it actually that... Does that mean that 60% is lowest cast time? Or 40% is lowest cast time? I don't know which one's which. Like what would it say here on the screen for me? Would it say 40% or 60%? 40%? Okay. So you'd still always have 40% of the casting of anything that you cast. Unless it's frigid tracks, which... You guys know how the gems work for that, right? But I guess people don't take that, right? Anybody who goes mage nowadays... What are you doing? You're falling off my hand. Anybody who goes mage nowadays goes crashing waves, right? And not frigid tracks for your gems. What do you want? You want to be a loaf? Is that what you want? Just want to be a loaf. Loaf bird. Look at this little loaf bird. Look at this thing. Hold on, I gotta switch cameras here. It's really hard to do. There we go. Loaf bird. Look at this guy. He's just hanging out. Here you go. Just doing bird stuff. Look at the feet. I know. You know what's funny? He doesn't let me ever... he always has to hold one finger in his foot. He always wants to hold something with his feet. Like, no matter what, one foot always has to be holding onto something. Otherwise, he just freaks out. Like, that's his character trait. Always has to be holding onto something with one foot. He doesn't like when both feet are not holding onto things. Give him a Q-tip? No, I'm not going to do that. He's going to tear it apart. I don't know. I've never given him a Q-tip before. I know you did that with your birds. I have no idea what happened with Cody. Cody, what are you doing? Stop biting my shirt. Get out of there. What are you doing? Hold on, your foot's stuck. Cody. Give me a second. Let me free your foot out of there. There you go. You got sharp nails. We got to get your nails cut soon. There you go. He's doing a little stretch. Doing a little stretch. Ah, look at him. He's doing his little stretching. See, he's the main character of the show. I don't matter. It's just all about... this show is about Cody. Do you want to go to the bathroom? Cody, poop. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Cody. You did it. You pooped in the bucket. Marshmallow freaks out if he's not holding on anything either. Oh, look at that. I guess that's a... Maybe that's just a bird thing. You're about to fall, dude. Look at this little acrobat. He doesn't care. Like, oh, this is fine. Alright, you want to go this way? Alright, go over there. Alright, so let me take this thing off the screen now. I think we went over that at least. It is kind of interesting because, you know, with all the stat changes, a lot of people are like, do I still go evasion into my hands, right? Or do I go parry rate in my hands? And that's a tough question, actually, because, I mean, evasion still helps for PvE, right? But people will generally have more focus, so they're going to be able to blast through most of your evasion. So in reality, instead of having, like, 20% evasion, maybe a little bit more with buffs because of, like, passives from Shadowplay that gives evasion, right? You'll really only have, like, 10? 5? But 5% evasion is still better than some of the other options for your gloves, right? You can have maybe 500 more physical defense at the end game, which is really, really low and doesn't very much mean very much, right? People with defense penetration are still going to penetrate through that. Or you can have 5% evasion, which can just completely negate an entire attack. And it's an interesting little debate that I've seen a little bit on like other Discords and such that I've been made aware of. And it'll be interesting to see what people do with the new changes and how they want to outfit their gloves and other Lunagems and stuff. And how people play a little differently. Maybe you'll see some... I don't think this will ever happen, but maybe you'll see some mages who actually go a little bit of agility because they want to get the evasion out of it. I don't see that happening, but again, there's a possibility that somebody can choose to do if they didn't want to go for stamina as an off stat, right? And yeah, I don't know. We'll see what people end up doing. I don't think that's going to be a more common one, but again, there are different varieties of playing the game that we just don't really understand quite yet based on this because we don't have a patch yet, right? People haven't come up with these ideas yet. People haven't broken through the meta on NAEU because we don't even have it yet. So, we'll see. Anyways, any other questions you guys have about Arcade things? What other topics do you guys want to talk about? Any mechanics? Do you guys just want me to talk about some hidden mechanics in the game that I've posted on Reddit? Do you guys want me to just go over some stuff that's very interesting? We could just do that. We could just go over some of my Reddit posts. We might even like highlight it or something and just be like, hey, here's some cool information about the game if you missed it, right? It might be worth doing. I don't know, do you guys want that? Do you guys know? Have you guys seen the Reddit posts and seen all these things and the mechanics that we've talked about and a lot of other stuff? Is there a benefit, do you guys think, from that? Because I have no idea. Cody, the chat wants to see you. If you're constantly down here, I know, you don't wanna come up here. The chat wants to see you because they wanna hang out with you. You're the main character. Go over there. This little freaking bird, dude. Yeah, otherwise we just go over regular questions about the game. Talk about theory crafting builds, or proficiency stuff, or mechanics, or whatever. If you guys have any questions about arcade-related things, feel free to ask. This is a really good place to do that. In the meantime, maybe I can do a little bit of... I need to use my labor, honestly. And I actually need to be using my labor on machining, because I really want to get my machining up. Oh, there are no glowing prisms on here. Okay. Is Reedwind in war? Maybe that's... No, that's not it. I have a lot of labor, but I don't really know what I want to spend it on. Cody, what are you doing? Come here. Do you want water? Do you want to go back in your cage and eat and drink a little bit? Nah, he's happy. He's perfectly happy. He could sit on here for like an hour, just like this. Alright. Fine. You'll be here then. Anyways, I need to figure out how I want to spend my labor right now, because I don't really care too much about gold at the moment. I need to find something else. What do I want to level up? And I do want to level up machining. I can level up... exploration. We could do a little bit of that while we answer questions, but I don't think there's too much conversation right now, so maybe not. Koitek, what's the status of the game right now? Is it friendly to new players that are starting? Yeah, I think every server generally has some good guilds that'll help you out and you can actually interact with and play the video game with, right? Every server will have guilds for that. So that's not too much of a worry. You just have to find them, right? You have to ask and say in Nation Chat, hey, any new player-friendly guilds? And usually you'll get people who are PMing you, right? Depending on what time of the day you play and who's active at the time, but still. Generally, it's better to ask that question when you're playing in your regular time. Like, if you regularly play in the afternoons, ask in the afternoons, right? Because otherwise, if you ask in the morning and you don't play then, you'll get a guild who plays in the morning, right? But yeah, people are generally pretty good. You know, a lot of the shouting and nonsense you see on Reddit are just people who don't play the game anymore, but keep coming back every year to just make fun of it, even though they don't understand the game at this point, right? So don't look at all that. The actual population of people, the majority of the population actually does enjoy this game and plays actively and, likes arcades for the combat and the amount of stuff you can do in the game. You're constantly keep learning something new every single day. Even me, after 6 years, we learn something new all the time. But yeah, so I do have a better video about this where I answer this question, but there's still a lot of grinding in the game in terms of like getting dailies done, right? Which you'll do with people, right? And people stress out a lot over it, which sucks, because the catch-up mechanics in this game are intense. There are a lot of catch-up mechanics, and there are catch-up events that happen all the time too. And people stress out over, oh, I need to get to the end game in like the first week. But if you just chill and do things and play the video game, it's an MMO. It's designed to be played and progressed over years. But because people rush and burn themselves out, because they feel like they have to get to some kind of competitive level, even though the competitive level is a lot sooner than they think, that's the problem. And so a lot of people kind of get in the wrong mindset there. I haven't done dailies in a very, very long time. In fact, when I was at 11k gear score, I just stopped doing dailies, period. And I ended up getting 15k gear score now without doing anything, just because whenever I want to go and do something, I go do it. And whenever I want to progress my own stuff, I go and do it, right? Like, I don't try to do the daily stuff in the garden every single day unless I want to, and then I just progress things over time. And I am still very, very much a competitive player in the way that I play, right? With the classes that I play, with the style that I play. I only have one other character on one other account. I don't even use alts, right? My alt, I haven't logged into for like 2 weeks. I just don't care. And I barely cared in the beginning either. I just don't use my alt for anything. And yet still, I got up to endgame. I'm still able to get to the competitive level in the same time frame. Because people overestimate what kind of advantages you get from alts and stuff. It's nice to have extra diligence on an alt and labor, but I don't use it myself, right? The diligence coins are nice. But, yeah, so there's a lot to the game. There's tons of ways to progress. It's just people need to chill a little bit and just kind of relax, right? Which is unfortunate that a lot of people don't. A lot of people get burned out very, very early and forget that this is a game meant to be played for years. Yeah, that's true, Hugan. I learned today that there's a cap for cast time. I don't play a mage, but yeah, you learn something new every single day. Absolutely. Do you know any good way to get 180 weaponry? 180k weaponry. You're trying to make an Aranor weapon, but you don't have the blue salt manual. Yeah, it's really tough. 180k weaponry is a massive investment, and honestly, your best bet is to find somebody else who already has it. Usually, alts will tend to have weaponry at a very high amount, and so people will use an alt to use that labor constantly just to craft out weapons to sell, right? Just to craft out weapons to just sell on the auction house over and over and over again, usually at a loss, because people tend to not buy these things unless they're going for Aranor equipment, right? So it is very, very hard to get 180k weaponry. It is a massive investment. And again, you might want to just try to find somebody with an alt who already has that done. Because if there's somebody on your server with an Aranor weapon, somebody somewhere has 180k weaponry. And it's going to be a little bit tough to find them, but you're a little bit better off even just paying them extra gold to craft something for you, through the crafting request board, than trying to get that yourself. Right, work with other people, work with teams, right? That's the whole point of the proficiency system, is that you're supposed to seek out somebody with a high proficiency if you need them. That's how it's designed, right? You don't have to do everything yourself, but it's tough. It's a tough system for weaponry specifically. Yeah, you can. You can request stuff. Oh, you couldn't request stuff from the armor house? Oh, yeah, true. You're right. You cannot request stuff from the armorer's house. And you're right. Aranor gear has a Cody, don't eat that. Aranor gear has like an armor house thing where you can just craft it right away or something. I don't remember exactly what that is. You won't be able to find it in the folio, but I can go to an equipment house right now because I have one recorded. Equipment house. Where's my equipment house? Crafting house. I think it's this one. So let me take a look. But you're right. You cannot request those off the armor's house. So you'd have to do the full route and get an actual upgrade scroll, right? As opposed to crafting it immediately. I don't remember how that works exactly from the armor's house, but you're right. What else did I miss from the chat? Davlo, you want to relax, but you felt like you just need rank 12 garden dailies and other dailies? What? No! Don't do rank 12 garden. Oh, it's so annoying. Wait, it's gone. No! The equipment house is gone. Damn. That sucks. Well, okay, we're not checking that today. Isn't the upgrade scroll just a chance? Seems expensive. I don't think so, right? The upgrade scroll for Aranor to go from Ionat to Aranor, I think it's 100%. Can somebody confirm or deny that? I don't know. I think all of the crafting scrolls are 100%. But if you go from Aranor Tier 1 to Aranor Tier 2, that's RNG. But I think to get to Aranor in the first place is a 100% chance. And I could be wrong, right? So if anybody knows the answer to that, for sure, or can confirm or deny it, please say something. I know somebody in chat probably does. Yeah, damn, so this one's gone. Oh, there's another one. I have another one. Equipment crafting. Hello. Let's go try this one. Alright, Cody's interacting with Sinister Berry over there. Hugan, if you can get Dawn Tier 4... Sorry about that, I got a bird on my shoulder. Plus House with Proficiency, plus 50k extra prep from the scroll. That can help, yes, absolutely, you're right. So, you know, honestly, a house with all the proficiencies on it that you need for weaponry, Dawn's Drop, all of that stuff helps out massively with, you don't actually need 180k, but you do need somebody who has, or a character that has, you know, all of that other stuff there. So, okay, so here is the... Okay, yeah, so you can just directly craft an Aranor, correct. But yeah, you cannot request this off of the crafting board. You're right. If you go this route, you are you're locked into getting that proficiency. But again, this is nice because, you know, here at this crafting request, this house can have 20,000 extra, or what is it? I think it's, yeah, 20,000 extra proficiency from, like, you know, like the stuff from weaponry, and then you can get 20,000 more from Dawn's Drop, and then you can get another 50 from the weaponry scroll, if you still have one, because you only get one ever, right? So it's still tough. So if you want to invest like a whole bunch of labor on an alt maybe or something to get that scroll and or you know, to get enough weaponry, I think it's like what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you need 90,000 weaponry, and then the other 90,000 would be handled by Dawn's Drop, and the 20,000 on the house, which you still need, and you know, the 50 from the scroll. So it's quite a, it's not easy at all. It's a very, very complicated thing, but it is achievable, and that's probably the best tips I can give you, honestly. I don't think there's anything else I can think of. You know, there is technically another scroll, right? This one. The Vocation Support Scroll gives another 10,000 proficiency to everything for an hour. So there's another way to help. This Vocation Support Scroll that comes from this Vocation Support Pack. Now, this pack isn't going to be for credits all the time. They said they're adding it to the Diligence shop too. So you can get it for Diligence if you miss out right now. If you do want to go that route and craft it yourself on an alt. But it's expensive, and I don't like this, but I went into that yesterday, and I'm not going to do it today. We've made very good and solid kind of responses and notes out to Game Ago about this, and I hope that they actually take this stuff seriously and understand their game better. Good boy. You pooped in the thing again without me saying. Is weapon enhanced for PvP or PvE? Getting level 10 will take time, but is it worth it? Yeah, there's a really good article on that I made. And I don't remember what the command is. Let me do this very quickly. Oh, is it not on there? I guess not. Okay, hold on. Let me go to my own Reddit page now and link that article. So I talk about enhanced system, and it is PvP, and it's PvE only in the garden. Okay. Where is it? How weapon damage type enhanced bonuses work. Okay. So this goes over a lot of stuff, but the point of it is that the actual bonuses you get are only to specific armors, only to specific types of weapons or whatever, or different types of armors, and the bonuses are also very, very minuscule. So you remember in the past how we'd get like 15% more damage from slashing against leather? That's gone, totally. You don't get that anymore. Unless you invest a whole bunch of gold into this enhanced system, in which case then, yes, you'll get that 15% back. But at level 0, it already starts at like 5%, at a high value or something. So at minimum, you already have 5, and the other 10 levels will just give you 1% each for their expensive cost against leather and a little bit against something else. For slashing, I'm talking about specifically. And so it's extremely, extremely, extremely small bonuses that are absolutely great when you are absolutely done with everything else, right? When you have your boat you want, when you have cars and vehicles you want, when you have the housing you want and cosmetics you want, when all of your gear is eternal, you have all the gems slotted you want, that they're all, like, you know, actually +6 or whatever if you're going the honor route. Maybe you have a nice skateboard and you have a whole bunch of mounts and pets and combat pets that you want. Then maybe you can go for the enhanced stuff, right? But up until that point, you probably have way better ways to spend your labor and gold and everything else towards other achievements. Hey Quack, thanks for sending your love to Cody. He's right here. He is really trying to get to this cup because he wants to take a bath in this cup. This is what he does. He literally goes through the try to take a bath, which I do not want ever because that's very dangerous for him. So I'm trying to keep him away from there, but he's now noticed the cup and he'll do anything he can to get over there. So, I don't want you to go in there, little guy. I know you really want to. I know. You really want to go to the cup. Just relax, right? Don't go there. You're enhancing everything evenly, Davlo? I don't know. I don't want to get into the system, period. It's like, it's too expensive. Haram? It's crazy. It's crazy. You have to invest so much synthesis into it just to enhance. Like, that's not something I ever want to get into. I have way better things to spend labor and gold on. Listen, if I want 10%, if I want 15% more damage against somebody in cloth, or against somebody in leather or whatever, I'm not going to enhance my stuff. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look through my skills, and I'm going to say, oh, you know what? Swiftblade gets 16% more damage to targets that are bleeding. I can get that 15%. All I got to do is make sure my target is bleeding. So we know what I do to make sure I do more damage? I make sure that my combos are going off correctly, and that I am actually bleeding a target before I use other abilities, or that I am actually, applying instinct to a target before I use my other Swiftblade abilities that do extra damage against targets who are instinct stacked, right? And I take advantage of what is already given to me in my skill sets that I've chosen, or choose other skill sets based on a scenario, and that's how I maximize my damage, right? I don't go this crazy route of, other things until I really, really, really need to super, super far down the line, and I don't expect me doing that for many, many months, honestly. I think I want to get everything up to Eternal before I even think about that. And Eternal, I don't need. I don't need for a very long time because the stats I gain for it at this point are very, very minuscule. And it's not something I care too much about. Cody! Okay, listen, hey. I know, you really want to hang out. You really want to go inside of this cup. You're biting me over it, and I don't like that, alright? I don't like that you're biting me. That's not good. And I don't want you to go in the cup, even though I know you're trying your hardest to do it. Right, but we gotta put you back in the cage if you're gonna be a brat like that. Right? Okay. He's just sitting here, looking at me. All right. He's still gonna try to go to the cup, so I'm gonna have to put him back soon. But at least then we can go and do some arenas and stuff. There he goes. He's going back. Wait, where's he going? Yeah, he's going back. It's a freaking bird, man. I know, you really want to go to the cup. I can't believe you. Now he's looking at me like, Dad, I'm not going to do it, I swear. As he edges closer and closer to the cup. No, come on, dude. I see what you're doing. Stop trying to sneak over there. Alright, I got to put you back, alright? I'll be right back. I'm going to go put Cody away. We'll take him out later on as well, once he's kind of calmed down a little bit. Alright, I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. Cody's back in his cage now, so we're all good. I don't know what that noise was, but that was me. Whatever that noise was, that was my computer. You don't want to get weapons to Eternal at least? Nah. Look, if I was a crit build, yes, but I'm not a crit build, I'm a defense pen build. So I'd get one extra gem that gives 200 defense pen. It's okay. It's 5% more damage on the weapon. So it's really like 4% damage on the actual skills. It's okay. The cost is a little bit too much. Like, if I wanted to get those values, Quack, you know what I'd do instead? I'd take that gold that I would spend in Eternal, and I would throw it to make sure that my my costume and my underwear are absolute maximum. That's what I would spend all that gold on first, before I go to weapons, right? I wouldn't even do accessories, because that's a very, very small benefit that I gain out of those for a very, very big cost. So that's not even something I would look at. But you know what I've been spending my gold on instead? This. My offhand stuff. My, not offhand stuff, but my weapon swap stuff, right? I'm spending gold on this Disciple Shield and the Searing Oath, because I can literally swap with a button when I'm about to take a bunch of damage to this stuff, and I'll soak up damage a little bit better with extra max health and extra defenses and extra received damage reduction, and then I swap back to my regular equipment and continue attacking. So I've actually been investing gold in very, very different gameplay styles that allow me to have more options and more survivability in combat. Not to mention, of course, I use the Disciple Shield, which means I can actually weapon swap and use the Disciple Shield ability to pull targets together from range. And of course, I want to get this to tier 3 because that would be nice as well, but that's not really a priority at the moment. So I have other things to work on before I end up getting my weapons to Eternal, right? I have other more efficient methods of progress and progression for stats that I need before I go and get one more gem for defense penetration. Now, if I was a crit build, getting that last gem would actually make a lot more sense in value because I'm fighting against people's resilience. But the amount of defense penetration you get from the one gem just isn't... It's not going to cut it for me. It's not the craziest thing in the universe. You see, I'm not really even upgrading these gems as much. There's still like 150, 179, because I want to be spending and pouring my money into other things, which will give me actually defense penetration too, like my costume and my underwear, right? And not only will it give me defense penetration, but it will give me more crit rate, resilience, skill damage percentage, backstab melee damage, and the same thing for my costume, right? And receive damage reduction on my costume is actually really, really good. That's an extremely powerful stat. So by doing those first, I am getting more value out of the gold that I'm spending instead of just rushing for Eternal, which doesn't really give me too much, honestly, in the small, you know, in the short term. Hello, that's pretty good. I'll go ahead and take that. Thank you. Anything for machining? Nope. 40 labor for 12 gold. I'll take it. That's great. I don't know why they didn't just make it themselves. They really don't have handicrafts up to 10k, I guess. Alright. That's fine. What am I doing in Halsey? Oh, right, I was looking at the equipment bench. That's right. Alright, let's do some arenas. I don't care whether I win or lose, and I have to keep reminding myself that, because I actually don't. I don't know why I have this feeling in the back of my head, like, oh, I need to get up in the leaderboard, because there isn't. It shouldn't exist. Oh, okay, cool. So, let's, we're gonna queue up. We'll try a little bit of sparring. We'll stand next to the statue just in case. Oh, it's 3 hours before the statue goes away. We'll stand next to the statue just so we can refresh the buff if we go into Gladiator Arena. And so I need to be practicing a lot more with using Shadowplay to disable properly, and watching evasions and stuff better as well. It's actually really, really hard to play this whole class. There's a lot to Immortalist that I still haven't really figured out totally. And Leech is like a big RNG fest. Leech can like be really, really good or just be useless, but that's the point of it, right? That's kind of the fun with the way that Leech works. For me, I do enjoy that. Alright, so we'll see how this goes today. We'll see if we even get any sparring arenas, because it looks like right now we're not getting anything. Let's try to go into Gladiator Arena really quickly. We can try Free-For-All Arena. That's a really good way for me to practice everything. I'll probably end up losing, but it's an extremely powerful way to practice. And I don't really care if I lose, because look, 12th place still gets 20 coins. I mean, how can you... It's so good. It's always good. In fact, I really hope we get a Free-For-All Arena. Maybe I should just ask everybody to queue up to Free-For-All. In Nation Chat. I think people would do that. Or no, is there actually... Oh, crap. Is there an event that's going to happen right now? Let me see. Schedule. Golden Plains Battle is in 1 hour and 15, which I do want to do on stream. So we'll do that. I don't think anything else is going on right now. Oh! They added the cargo ship to the schedule on Arcade Tools. Great. I'm glad Mokulu did that. That's great. Look at that. Look at this. Now we have the cargo ship here. Under schedule. Initialize the timer by setting... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we have to initialize it ourselves? Ah, damn. Well, alright. I guess, he's kind of made it for us to use. That's probably the better way to do it, honestly. And then somebody who has that set up can tell everybody else what the timer is, right? But that's not too bad. Anyways, that's the schedule that I use to figure out when content is happening. Because generally I have no idea myself. I just don't keep track of that stuff. And again, it's because I don't really care, right? It's not like I'm trying to farm Halcyon every single day. I do whatever I want. I'm not trying to stress out about progression or all these other things. It's just, if I want to do something, I go and do it. And that's it. I'm not like, you know... I don't think anybody needs to be that way, but people tend to get that mentality of, oh, I gotta do everything every single day, and you get burned out really fast that way. In fact, I got burned out that way, to be fair, right? Like, I took a break several months in the game, too, for like a couple months. I took a break, just played other things, logged into Arcade to pay for taxes. I did that, you know, like a little while ago, myself, because I didn't like the burnout that you get from starting a new character on Legacy or on Unchained, and you have to do all these things all the time. I know when to take a break, and I understand that very, very well, when it's healthy to do so, and I did that. And I recommend other people do the same, but man, people get burned out and continue playing for months and really get stressed out over a video game, and that sucks. I don't like that that's the way that is, because people forget it's an MMO, not a match of Call of Duty that lasts a year, you know? I don't know, that's not a good example. Never mind. Alright, nobody's in the free-for-all arena. Let's keep trying to queue up to different ones. Maybe nobody's doing anything. While we're queuing anyways, if you guys have any arcade-related questions, it's always a good time to ask, so we can go over some topics of things. We can talk about builds, or theory crafting, or proficiency stuff, or you know, like mechanics or things. Whatever questions you guys have, this is a really good place to ask and go over these kind of topics. No, still nothing for that. Nothing for Glads. Let's see. I haven't done Sea of Drawn Love, but I kind of want to do that just because I want a chance at the crate. I don't want to do Hereafter Rebellion. I kind of really want to do Ipnia Sanctuary, but it's hard to find a group for that. And Library I haven't done in probably weeks. And again, it's like another free source of gold, but it takes time, and I just don't care, right? Like, it's not... I don't know, I'm not trying to min-max everything. I'm not even doing all the dungeons and stuff for gold. Because it's like, I don't know, it stresses me out to have to do all these things all the time. So I just don't. And I progress as I progress. Which so far has been working just fine. Very minimal issues. Oh, Mist-Song Banquet. I actually really enjoy this, but again, it's hard to find people who want to do Mist-Song Banquet. I just want to get to 15 at least. Alright, let's keep queuing up then for sparring. And I guess in the meantime, we're just chilling. So, if there's any topics you guys want to talk about, you can bring them up. And again, if I don't know, we could go over just different topics, just as a kind of like an educational stream, right? Do you guys think that's worth it? Just go over different topics that we've talked about before, and just like secret things in the game or secret stuff. Maybe there's something that you guys don't know that might pick up on. I think there's some worth there. How did I place in this event? Nice. I'm not going to stay there, but that's not too bad. Secret gold making stuff. We've talked about that too. I actually have a pretty good answer to that, which is I did a highlight as well on that topic specifically. But yeah, going over these things again is the whole point of this conversation, right? Like, I could just go over this stuff again. But, you know, a quick answer for secret gold making stuff is use the auction house to figure out what kind of things you could take advantage of, right? Look at how things sell in the auction house like corn, and look at how the prices bounce up and down over time. Use this to your advantage, right? Or use the things that corn makes and sell those when things are very, very high priced, right? Try to take advantage of people who are trying to pour money into the game, who are literally spending thousands of gold on stuff. And the auction house is a great way to show you those things. One very, very good thing that I've kind of started giving away as a secret is use the auction house in a way where you actually win every single time. So, Starlight Arcane Crystal, we know how to get these, right? You get them from a dungeon, and by evanstoning the stuff from Howling Abyss, right? And it's kind of interesting because Starlight Arcane Crystal is an extremely important crystal for so many different reasons. People need these in the hundreds, right? So that's why the price is so high on these. Not to mention that now people also need them for Aranor gear progression and library gear progression up to tier 3. So this is actually, Arcane in general is very, very important. So Starlight Crystals, what ends up happening is, and you'll see this all the time, the entire market gets just bought out. Like every few days, everything in the market just gets slammed and someone buys everything. And you can take advantage of that. All you have to do is look at these listings and look at the highest sale price. So the highest sale price on this day, look at that, they bought 526 or some, overall on this day, 526 were bought, right? The highest sale price was 45 gold. Right now it's up for 25. Well, let's look a couple days down the road. Oh, here's more that were bought for 45 gold is the highest price. Let's keep going. Another 45 gold. Another couple days, 50 gold. 45 gold, right? And so on. Nothing lately, but my point is that people buy out the market in full. They don't even care about the price. And what that means is if you have a whole bunch of crystals in your pocket and you want to sell them, don't put them up for the lowest price. Yes, they'll sell faster, or you can put them up for 45 gold for like 48 hours. Because apparently somebody's going through and buying them anyways, right? And so you have actually a pretty good chance using this information from the price listing to put them up for a much higher price and actually succeed, because every few days they do get bought out for pretty much any price. Look, even 50 gold, right? So take advantage of this on anything, not just Starlight Arcane Crystal. See how the market changes. See what markets get bought out. See what volume things are getting bought at, and on which days they're getting bought at. Sometimes Saturdays and Sundays are better days to sell things. Sometimes the mornings you'll see have different prices than the afternoons, and you can take advantage of that not only just by buying and selling from the auction house, but also from literally doing your own farming or your own way to make money, right? If you're going through and you're farming up Starlight Arcane Crystal, that's an example of you taking advantage of your routes to make it and earn it to then sell it for a very, very high price, right? I've been doing this for years, right? And it's a very, very popular way to sell to people who are spending thousands of gold, who are very, very much trying to get whatever they want, and they don't care about the gold prices, right? They're just looking for convenience. And we've talked about this, of course, before, and it's a very, very powerful way to do it. So just some ideas for you, right? It doesn't have to be this, right? It could be tons and tons of other things that you do to use a similar route to make gold, right? Quack, now you just check moles every 3 hours and call it a day. I did that for a little bit, and I got very bored of it. Yeah, you can go and you can try to farm up all the moles. The, what are they called? What are their actual Haradian moles or whatever around the eastern Haram mountain areas? Yeah, especially around the places where they spawn. And try your luck at getting some good amounts of gold from that, because yeah, that's not a bad way to do it. I did it a little bit, but I never got it. I really didn't get lucky, honestly. And even with larceny, it doesn't matter, because I think that they're always the same amount of labor to open those Herodium mole chests. So, I don't know. It was okay, but I didn't really get lucky out of it, so I kind of stopped. But it is not bad, yeah. It's not a bad way to make some extra income, especially for the labor cost, right? And especially if you get very lucky. Alright, I don't think there's anything in Sparring Arena right now. Is anybody abusing drill camps? No. It's very quiet right now. But I guess people are just... everybody's waiting for Golden Plains battle as well. So that kind of makes sense. They might be doing other stuff in the meantime. We're just jumping around Marion because we're answering questions for you guys, right? But see, people are out and actually doing stuff. We actually have a bunch of people online, so clearly I'm missing out on whatever's happening, whatever people are doing. I think the garden is in war right now. I could do a little bit of farming around Coleman's just to upgrade my cloak a little bit more, but I don't really want to do that because the value I get is pretty low at this point. So I'll just farm my cloak later on. Oh, I wanted to spend my labor. That's what I wanted to do. And I don't really know how we want to do that right now. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea how I want to do this. Commerce? I don't want to do commerce. Don't like trade runs. How do I want to spend my labor? Honestly, I wish we had more glowing prisms, so I just spend it on that. There's none on. Alchemy? I have the alchemy I need to make anything I want, so I'm okay with that. I already make the potions that I need. So these desert fires and the mossy pools, I have enough to make those. From the, what's it called? From the thing. You know the thing, the townhouse, right? Quack, pet armor, labor dump. Yeah, we could do that. That doesn't really gain me any proficiencies, but we could do that, yeah. That's definitely an option. I was just gonna, like, if I'm gonna dump labor on anything, it would probably still be coin purses, just to get some extra amount of value out of it. The value that I get out of putting it into my pet armor isn't super crazy. Like, the pet armor's okay, but I'm not a healer, right? So while, yeah, I can continue increasing the values of these things, I don't really need a pet to DPS in PvE. I tend to kill things before the pet even gets to them, so, you know, it's okay, but I don't really care as much about this stuff. I really just want a tier 2, right? When I got tier 2, I'm like, good, we have a thing we need. We're done, right? Like, that's good enough. And then I continued increasing these mostly for science, because I wanted to see how much value you'd get for actually increasing these up every single grade. And it's okay. It's not, like, amazing, but it's alright. That's not something I'm super crazy looking into at the moment. Technically, it's not even on my list of agenda items. In fact, I need to look at that. My agenda items are upgrade Luna Gems. Well, it's actually not that bad right now. That's actually a very good thing. I don't have very much honor, but... yeah, I can't really do that right now. Okay. So no upgrading Luna Gems. Get the Turtle Craft. Okay. Chrome Submarine. I really do want to get the Chrome Submarine. Should we just do that? It's boring, though. I want to answer questions, but... I don't know. Otherwise, get appropriate stats and costumes, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Memax. I can try to get the Memax if we run Mist Zone dungeon, but... Maybe 5-piece library tier 3? Eh. It's not gonna happen. Oh, upgrade Armor Cloak to tier 2. That's really expensive, right? I think that's like 2,000 gold just to try. 2,000 gold just for an attempt to get one extra stat on my cloak. And what would I put as that extra stat? Resilience? Who's got Armor tier 2? No. Okay, here's one. So they put focus and resilience, actually, and this is a melee. Okay. So they don't even have spirit, or that's weird. They don't even have stamina. Oh, no, they do have stamina. Huh. Okay. They went to defense penetration build, so they didn't go crit. That makes sense. They have strength, stamina, focus, and resilience. But see, I would put... I guess that makes sense, because, you know, I'm not going to need spirit after all these stat changes, right? So I would actually... In fact, there's merit for me changing spirit right now. What do I get for spirit at the moment? Parry rate? Oh my god. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Because I'm not Battle Rage anymore. My parry rate is, like, not that interesting. It's not... I actually do have merit to reroll it for something else. Roll it, yeah. What am I trying to get, though? Resilience is good. Resilience. I try to go for resilience, I think. Focus is okay, but I don't think I would take anything else other than resilience, focus, and maybe received healing. Nah, I don't care. I think even if I got received healing, I don't think I would take it. I think I'd rather keep spirit for the extra parry. But 10% received healing is pretty good, right? So actually... I don't know if I would accept that over spirit. Would I accept that over spirit? I have 5 rerolls. And I might not get what I want, but... Because it's really, really hard to get what you want on the cloaks, but... I guess it's worth... I just don't, like... I try to pre-understand whether or not I'm gonna accept it or not, right? Because if I get agility, I know the answer. But if I get received healing and I have to spend a whole minute to think about it, I don't want to do that right then, right? I want to think about it already. So, yeah. I don't know. Would I keep received healing over spirit? I guess yeah, right? I guess yes, I should. Actually. Because that helps anybody healing me, including myself. If I use a potion, it's 10% more. Alright. Yeah, I'll say yes to that. So let's re-roll Spirit and see what we get. With the hopes of getting Resilience, honestly. Okay, Agility, no. We don't care about that. So no, we're canceling that. No, we want the other stuff. I'm surprised to get a main stat, though. Those tend to roll less often. Hey, we got Focus! Great. Cool. So, Iron Ore Tier 2 would essentially be for Resilience, right? Resilience or Received Healing. Iron Ore Tier 2 would essentially be for Resilience or Received Healing. Such an expensive thing to try to get, though. Like, 2,000 gold. When I could spend the 2,000 gold and get my costume and underwear up. Right? Actually, how much gold would it be to get my underwear up right now? Oh my god, that's cheap. Holy crap. That's... I'm just gonna buy those. I mean, that's... I'm gonna use them later. Okay. Cool. What other things do I need? I can get more Mystigun crystals for prestige. I don't know how many I'm at, though. Alright. Also, I wonder if it's worth me going for Eternal on my costume before Mythic on my underpants. Oh my god, it might actually be, because of received damage, right? 1% more received damage reduction is really good. I might actually rather get Eternal on my costume first than Mythic on underpants. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I need to do. You can double-click the item for faster buying. Wait, really? Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. That is a thing, isn't it? What is the other thing that I need for those? Onyx, right? Onyx prices are pretty low right now. I actually could just buy a whole bunch and use it. We could do this, though. We could actually get Mythic or Eternal on my costume right now, which gives me 1% more received damage, a little bit more defense penetration. Let me see how much. How much more defense penetration do I get? Like 150? Pretty much the same price as one of these gems, right? Or the same amount as one of those gems. So that's not bad. 150, okay, fine. Crit rate goes up by a little. Melee skill damage goes up by like 0.7. That's not too bad. Oh, true. There's still 100% Eternal. That's a really good point. What is 0% Eternal then? Okay, they still have that. Okay, they're max grade. Are you sure there's a 100% on this? Let's go to Runert. We'll scroll all the way down. Synth Stones. I have the Synth Stones, actually, that I need to get these all the way up to Eternal, so that's okay. I don't need to buy those anymore. Actually, I think I'm a little bit off, but generally I don't think I need to. Oh, you're right. Okay, here's 0%. Okay. And this is expired on this person, so... on Obama. Alright, so 0% has... a little less than 100 more defense penetration, and 3.4% received... So 0.6% more received damage. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. I might actually go for, underpants up to Mythic, then. First. Let me do a little bit of looking around here to see. Because I'm trying to use my gold efficiently, right? Because I don't really know what to progress on at this point. Whoa, 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 whoa! This person had... Oh, never mind. Oh my god, I thought this was the costume from... I thought this was the hero costume for some reason. It looks very similar to the hero costume, the way they've made their character look. But no, they're just using Exalted Haram chest. Okay. Jeez. That actually scared me. Alright, I didn't know anybody used that thing, but I know sometimes people occasionally get it just to try it out. Alright, anyways, we're looking for Mythic Underpants. Oh, it's Zabby. I actually know them. They're playing River. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, 200 in, but that's fine. So, Mythic gives like 100 more resilience, a little bit more crit rate, a little bit more skill damage, but it is actually... This tells me that it is better to go for Mythic Underpants, 100%, over 0% Eternal. So, definitely for sure, Underpants is next. For sure, for sure, for sure. So, I need 40 of the stones. And 40 stones times 3 Mysigon crystals is 120 Mysigon crystals. And right now I have like 40, which isn't actually enough. So I don't even have enough to get close to... Oh no, I have 61 right now. So I'm actually halfway there. If I bought the other 61, that is... Oh no, if I bought the other 59, that's 1,500 gold right there. That's already too much for what I'm trying to do. Alright, let me duel Sajin, because I don't know where they are anymore. Do you want to go there? Okay, we got here. Let me also turn this off. Alright, Sajin. You want to duel? We can duel. I mean... Alright, did you want to test something? What are you doing? He's just jumping. Or I'm jumping. He's not doing anything. What's up? I'm confused. Maybe he's just testing something. Okay. I guess he's testing something. What's the font? So this is, hoping for a down arrow. Oh, well. Oh! Oh! Yeah. I think you have to hit a certain point, yeah. He actually upgraded, he enhanced his armor to test it. Damn. That's an investment, just to mess around a little bit. What's the font? So this is a mix of some other fonts that I put together. Using the font mod, I replaced the file with some other fonts that I liked. And so this one uses some other fonts that are also in our game. They're a little bit clearer for me, especially because I'm in a 4K resolution. And a lot of the fonts from the original, their normal fonts, just look very odd. And they just, in really small fonts, they look terrible, and it's hard to see. The font mod that is approved by Game Ago, that one's, you can find it on Reddit. And the mod already puts in a bunch of different fonts, but I don't like those ones either. So these fonts are a little bit more similar to C Server, and I like the C Server fonts a lot because they're very bold and a lot clearer, and so I've kind of chosen some other ones there. But you can go to Reddit right now and you can search in Arcade. The C one doesn't really... there's no real C font mod or anything. It's just I kind of put together some myself, and it doesn't work for other people apparently, so I don't even know, because I asked somebody else if my file would work for them and it didn't. So I'm not exactly sure why that didn't work. But still, the Korean font mod, as people call it, uses fonts that are more akin to what you'd see out of the Korean region. And you can find that on Reddit. I guess I can find it for you. It's not super crazy. I'm already on Reddit anyways. Korean font mod from Arcade. Let's see, 11 months ago. Source. No, hold on. Where is this? Oh, sorry, it's people. KR font mod. That's what they called it on Reddit. Posts from past year. Okay, fine. All time and hot. Where is this thing? Where is this Care font mod? Does anybody have a link to it? That's strange. I can't find it, actually. See more posts. A little bit odd. I have no idea where that font mod is, actually. Shira. If anybody does have a link to it, feel free to post something in chat. Yeah, because it helps because it makes the game and everything a lot clearer, right? The regular fonts that they give us for NAEU are just kind of... They blend into stuff a little bit more. They're more curvy. It's not super strict. And so the KR font mod alone is just really, really good. Jaja's, is the game dead? No, not at all. Every server on Arcade Unchained is doing pretty well. Some more than others, for sure. Some servers are more kind of free-farming things and waiting for merges and transfers. But generally, each region has at least a couple servers that are actually really well populated on every single side, and there's a lot of PvP that happens, so it's been pretty good. Arcade Unchained, in general, has been in a much, much better atmosphere for the game because you don't have to pay monthly even if you're taking a break from the game, right? So you actually can take a break and it's okay, it's encouraged. As opposed to Legacy where you have to pay monthly to like keep all your housing up and nobody ever liked that and it just ended up being really, really bad. With Unchained, you don't have to do that. It's a one-time pay and you're done, and you just play the game forever. So the actual atmosphere for everything has been a lot better, and so I've really enjoyed everything about it, personally. Generally, all the servers are doing really, really well. I mean, it's you can't really go wrong with a pick, but there are definitely some servers that are better than others for PvP or for specific world boss content and stuff. A lot of people, like, just because of, like, the new cross-server instances and such, you'll see a lot of people doing those, right, and working in these instances with players from other servers, which is great, because it doesn't matter what server you choose, you can still do all this content, which is fine, right? Whereas you do normally just world boss content, trade runs, and housing stuff otherwise, outside of cross-server arenas and things. So yeah, it's been pretty good. I don't know. I've been very happy with the way that things have been. There's always issues, as there are with any game, which isn't, you know, that's normal and fine. You know, we kind of work with everybody to try to make sure the Game & Go understands what we want, but that doesn't always happen either, which sucks. But we work with them to you know, make the game better, and it's been a lot more positive, which I've very much enjoyed. It hasn't always been this way. Plus, the actual progression in the game is very, very good. You can get in at any point and get to like a competitive level very, very quickly, just within a month or two, especially with all the different progression mechanics and like events that happen all the time for progression as well, and kind of catch-up mechanics, right? So, I don't know, it's nice. We get new players pretty frequently, too. In our server, like, all the time we get new people who are in Nation Chat or trying to, you know, ask for guilds that are looking for new players, right? Because they want to be in the new player guilds to learn and to understand the game and such. Shira, do you remember me? I'm Shira To... I don't know, it's not a familiar name to me. Did we ever play the same server together at some point? Because that might help me remember if you do know me from some time. The problem is I have a terrible memory. So, like, it's hard enough for me to remember people. Usually I'll try to remember names as much as I can, but I know my flaws. I know that I'm bad at remembering things, and that's perfectly fine. We did Noriat? Oh, yeah, that's right. We did Noriat. I think that was the other day, too, huh? I think. I don't know. What do I know? I don't remember what I ate today, so... I just have to deal with it. I've learned my, my flaws. I write everything down to make up for it, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe we can go over some hidden mechanics and stuff instead. Because otherwise you're just answering questions and hanging out with you guys. I do wish that I can give you this link to the FR font, or to the Kara font mod, though. I don't know why I'm having such trouble finding this thing. I wonder if I could just Google search it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that works. That works immediately. Okay. Here you go. This has instructions and everything, too. So it turns out Google searching was actually what I needed to do. What do you know? So Shira, here is the KR font mod. And it's got a little bit of instructions on how it works and such too, and what exactly happens. So Ruin, have you seen the latest Korean 7.0 Swiftblade nerfs? I have. I'm very excited for those. They really need to happen. And, I mean, obviously it's going to be a while before we end up getting those, but it totally needs to happen. I want to see nerfs to Malediction as well, to Crashing Waves power and the way that works. At least have Crashing Waves be leechable or something, because like right now it's really, really hard to actually counter. But yeah, I think that they're addressing some very key issues with Swiftblade in a pretty proper way. So I guess we'll see what ends up happening. Exo loves mages because they're very OP. It wasn't technically always that way. It's kind of shifted. The game has shifted around all over the place, but mages historically have always been the better, you know, the more powerful class. There are ways to counter mages, but the problem is people don't ever take them. So Aromancy is like a massive, massive way to counter mages, but you don't see people running Aromancy as much, right? Aromancy is good not only because of like the passives and the active abilities that help. Aromancy is great because of Protective Wings. One of the most powerful abilities in the game that people just don't want to use because they'd rather be doing something else, right? But you can really just shut down an entire clump of mage damage and put everything on cooldown just by having one person with Protective Wings time it perfectly, right? Or, you know, a really good scenario would be that. People don't tend to do that. Now, we see in Legacy servers people are running Aromancy way more. Legacy is starting to figure out, oh, wait a minute, mages are a problem, we actually can address that in many ways. So you actually see Protective Wings all the time in Legacy PvP and Legacy gameplay. But Arcade Unchained, I don't think we've figured that out quite yet. I don't think people have realized how powerful Aromancy is to address the problems of mages. And, you know, so we're still kind of lacking in that sense. Sarun, there's a website that contains future patch notes, with the exception from the one 2 days ago. Yeah, there is. There's, D-Pain has been putting out a lot of information about that stuff, so we try to keep up to date with everything there. The one 2 days ago we actually noticed first and put up something about it, because I noticed that their Amigo came out, like, immediately, yeah. Their new news post about stuff that's going to be coming out. Now, they don't have those changes yet, and I do have a Korean character that I could use to figure out what exactly changed when those, you know, when everything happens. So we could talk about that stuff later on. But right now, I think that patch is just going to be in like early October, and so I do want to see some stuff because they're also like buffing two-handed weapons. They're buffing the end game world boss weapons by a pretty significant amount. So we'll kind of have to see what those actual values are once those changes come in, and then I can actually go on a character and just check them out myself, right? You're waiting for 7.0 because you're an archer? Yep, I know. It's great. I really do hope that archer gameplay is a lot more fun in the 7.0 patch. I really hope so. Korea seems pretty happy with those changes, so I don't know, with all like the stat changes and changes to archery as well. They've seemed pretty positive. They've seen the game overall become a lot more balanced. Like I've been saying, they do still make fun of how crazy Swiftblade and Malediction is, especially Malediction, but people are feeling a lot better about the gameplay, so that's pretty good. I'm happy that that's the case. 20% damage increase in two-handed is huge. Yeah, it is pretty good. I think that two-hand, it's a lot. I want to see what actually ends up happening, but it's a big boost, and they're really trying to encourage people to get away from shields, right? Because everybody's going, like, if you're any kind of DPS, you tend to end up going shield, right? Mage DPS, healers tend to do it. Tanks, of course, will have a shield, but everybody's got shields on right now, and they really want people to be pushing two-handed gameplay, or at least dual-wielded gameplay, right? But mostly two-handed gameplay. Which so in that patch, by the way, like in the 7.0 patch itself, they make it so that staffs and great clubs have the same weapon attack speed bonuses and coefficients that melee gets from weapon attack speed, okay? Which means that a great club or a staff, which are two-handed weapons for mages or healers, will actually do more damage or do more healing. However, they are slower. They get more global cooldown times and longer animation times. So while you actually can use this two-handed weapon that does more damage, The downside is you're slower, which means it's almost impossible to actually animation cancel. And, more importantly, is that you actually are just, in general, slower gameplay. And, yeah, I think buffing that kind of gameplay makes sense, because let's say you have really high ping, okay? If you have really high ping because you're playing from a different region or something, it's tougher to be a dual-wield, class, because you can't take advantage of the ping as much, right? It's tougher to be an archer because you can't take advantage of the ping. And so two-handed gameplay is great for people who just have to play slower, right? Whether or not they want to, whether or not maybe there's some kind of a disability involved, you have to play slower, and that's fine. You can still play the video game and enjoy it in both PvE and PvP with two-handed weapons that are going to be slower and do more damage, right? It's essentially nuking people and doing a lot more in that process. So I do like that. I don't know if a 20% damage boost is not technically necessary, because we don't have 7.0. We don't know how all those changes affect it, how the staff changes and how the Great Club changes affect the game, because we don't have that patch yet, right? We can see what Korea gameplay is, but their gameplay is very different. They run Aromancy all the time because they understand that, right? So we can't really go by their logic and their gameplay. So it'll be interesting to see how that first affects the game and the meta and everything. And then maybe it's justified to have a two-handed damage increase, because it just doesn't compete very much against fast players. And they really do want to encourage people to, they're trying to reach out to an audience of people who cannot play as fast or don't want to play as fast, right? Because I love playing fast. That's my whole thing, is to do all these different things and time things very, very quickly and understand buffs and debuffs and combat awareness, but not everybody likes to play that way. And so their whole point is two-handed gameplay should be slower and more nuked type, bursty type, because it allows that kind of gameplay for people who enjoy that, right? Used to be a two-handed Nodachi Executioner. Swapping to dual-wield Death Wish was the best decision you've done. Now you're sad about the future of dual-wield. I mean, the future of dual-wield is still really good. It's going to be always very, very powerful. Swiftblade, even with those nerfs, are going to be really, really good, right? It's just, it's not as good, but they're trying to balance it appropriately, right? Based on how much DPS everything does and how much risk versus reward you get. Archery tends to have the lowest DPS, not because they just hate archers, but because archers are generally pretty safe. They sit in the back lines, nobody can touch them, and if they're playing their class correctly, they're not going for tanks. They should be shooting at people who are, cloth and not wearing a shield, and they should be picking out targets who are going to be taking more damage from them, right? Especially using combos to do more damage as well. The same thing with dual wield, right? It's balanced around you're a melee, which means you have to get into close range, melee range, to do any damage. And if you're in melee range in raid versus raid, you are within range of everyone else. You can get targeted by any other player on the enemy team because you're in melee range. You're at the most risk of taking damage. So I think you'll still see that generally the gameplay is a lot more fun. If you like fast gameplay, dual wield gameplay as a melee will still continue to be really fun. You're going to want to take advantage of your combos more often. For example, if you're not making sure that your target is bleeding, so that you can get the value out of bleeding with like Battle Rage combos for damage, in Swiftblade combos with damage as well, start thinking about that. Start putting in the extra, start making sure you can get bleeding down for pin down, and even using other different abilities together to make sure that you're doing maximum amount of damage as much as possible. And you'll see that it's different gameplay, but if you're not already doing it, you're going to get your damage back just from taking advantage of that right there. So it should be okay. I think it's going to be perfectly fine. It's just, I still think that mages are going to be a little bit overtuned, and I don't know how that could be addressed other than just reducing damage on Malediction. There needs to be counters, right? The counter is Aromancy, people just don't play that, right? And that's a problem too, is people need to start playing Aromancy more often. Bleed was nerfed in the Garden Patch. The 3 Swiftblade skills, yep, that's true. Yeah, but still, 16%, it's 16%, I believe. It's 16 on Relentless Assault, it's 13 on Crescent Slice, that's a good one. And 13 on Sinister Strike, yep, that's true. Still good though, because those could be spammed, especially with Blink, right? You can essentially spam all these skills over and over again. If you are, have Instinct on the target and constantly keep resetting the cooldowns, especially with Blade Flurry too. So, I get it. I totally get it, but still, 13% damage is a lot, right? I mean, 20% damage boost on two-handed weapons is huge, but we already have 13% damage boosts on bleeding, which is pretty good, and people need to take advantage of that as much as they can, right? It's a little bit more of a bursty playstyle to do that, right? Because pin down is a single target ability, but you don't even need shadow play to do it, to be honest. If you want to cause bleeding on somebody, you can actually weapon swap to cause bleeding. There's honor weapons that cause bleeding from melee range. There's the Disciples Bow, which is the library bow that causes bleeding from 25 meters away. So even before you get into the fight, you can already put bleeding on somebody. And you don't even have to rely on pin down to do it. You don't need shadow play, technically. So there are other methods of causing bleeding even before you get into the fight, so you don't even have to think about it as much. You just, you know, weapon swap or do other things to cause it. So there's some other options for you to think about as well in gameplay styles. Sir Ruin. Billy Cook, we agree that Astral Ranger is the best class name in the game. I don't know, dude, Destroyer's pretty good. I like Destroyer. Nobody plays Destroyer. And for like a few patches, they renamed Destroyer to like Fiend, what was it, Fiend Hunter? To Fiend Hunter. I don't know why, but they did. And we reported, and we were like, hey, can you guys switch it back to Destroyer? And they're like, oh yeah, sure, and then they did, I guess. I like Destroyer better than Astral Ranger, but Astral Ranger is still pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It is a good class name. But man, Destroyer. You want to play Destroyer? Nobody's ever going to take advantage of this properly. Destroyer's either going to be a melee or a mage. Generally, an archer would not take advantage of Destroyer. But you can use archery as a utility skill set for sure. It's actually really good as a utility skill set, especially as a melee. Guys, the Deadeye changes that are coming with archery are an insane buff to melee, by the way. Because if a melee uses the new Deadeye, literally them running around and doing things just gives them 3,000 defense penetration. On top of 3,000 from Swiftblade, and on top of another 3,000 from Battle Rage if they're two-handed, or 1,000 if they're one-hand, or dual-wield, right? But still, that's a lot of defense penetration from archery. And archery has all this other stuff, like snare, and revealing stealth targets with missile rain, maybe, and causing silence instantly with concussive arrow. There's actually a lot of value. You actually cause slow with charged bolt, which means you can actually, as a melee, you can use charged bolt into whirlwind slash to trip somebody. That's pretty good, right? There's actually a lot of synergy between archery and battle rage, and technically, after the Deadeye changes, and even currently, if you're standing still, you actually do a lot of defense penetration with from archery, so I kind of see people do that a little bit more often. In fact, would I replace anything for it? What's mine again? Shadowplay, Occultism, Swiftblade. What would happen if I replaced Shadowplay with archery? What is that called? Gravebow. A Gravebow. And if I took 5 skills, it would be Deadeye, Charged Bolt. I'd have to take this double recurve just to, like, psych people out and dodge stuff. So that's 3. And then I guess Fending Arrow and Concussive Arrow. Oh, no, and Missile Rain and Concussive Arrow, right? Yeah. I think that makes sense. Oh, no, Snare. I take these 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I would lose so much from Shadowplay. Oh well. Anyways, it actually works out pretty well, honestly. Oh, that's right. I'd have to take archery with battle rage though. This one would work. Swift shot would work actually really well. Whatever. It's all just theory crafting. I still think I'm going to be playing Immortalist for some extended period of time because I do like this gameplay style. I'm still trying to figure it out exactly. But I like being able to just disable people for an extremely long period of time, right? I just take people out of combat entirely just by silencing and shackling specific people. Or even Stagger. The Stagger is so powerful from Overwhelm and Pin Down, and people don't really realize what Stagger is yet. Yet it is one of the most powerful crowd controls in this game. And yet, people don't really think about it. There's no diminishing return on Staggers. Staggers disable all abilities, and in some cases, even Defiance is disabled. Pin Down actually... the Pin Down Stagger actually stops the player from using Defiance for a second. Think about that. So, yeah, Stagger is actually really, really good, and I'm still getting used to this kind of gameplay style, revolving around you know, getting Bloodthirst stacks specifically for these combos, and just constantly shackling and silencing people. It's not very easy to do, especially with how much evasion people have. So I have to always keep track, is the thing that I'm doing getting evaded or not, right? So it's been very unique and fun gameplay that I've enjoyed, but oh man, it's very tiring. It's very tiring to be like, oh, I should have done this or that. And I have to get better at it for sure. What other questions you guys have, though? Any other arcade-related questions? Things you guys want to talk about? Today might honestly also be a short stream, too, because I kind of want to do some other stuff today. I was actually thinking about taking this weekend off because I wanted to play some other games. Again, just take a break, right? And just do other things. So I might do the same thing today. And tomorrow would also maybe be a shorter stream. I don't know. Like, No Man's Sky has been really fun, and I want to play a little bit more of that, too. I do really enjoy that game. I love the exploration elements and such. There's so many good games, man. It's so hard. Hard to stick to one. That's why Unchained has been so good, because I can actually just chill and not stress as much about having to pay every single month for a game that I might not even be playing that actively at the time. If I skip a day, I'll be one whole day behind. I know, right? It's crazy. It's almost like we don't have events every few weeks that just give everybody progression items. Man, people take things too seriously, and forget it's a video game. It is a video game, and it's an MMO. You're supposed to play it for years, right? And it's one that we continue learning new things about all the time. What the hell was that notification? Oh my god, it's the Hostla thing. That was a weird notification at the top of my screen. A mouth something drizzle leaks out of Hostla. Like, what the hell was that? Did you guys see what that was? Alright, I guess I'll go and do it. I don't know. Now that I read it. Yeah, No Man's Sky had a pretty good update recently. They added giant sandworms. I finally found a planet with one, but it's really, really hard to actually scan it. And I want to kill one, too. I don't know. It's just cool. It's just like a sight thing. It's not really about... they're not really like trying to attack you or anything, I've noticed. But I might be wrong. I haven't really tried. I just landed on one finally. They added a bunch of other things, too, which is really cool. I'm really happy with how No Man's Sky has been progressing. Sarun, Miss Elda Dailies in main sleep. Miss Elda Daily trade run? Panic. I don't do trade runs. I can't. I don't have the patience. I mean, I have the patience for trade runs, but I don't really enjoy it myself. So it's not really something that I personally like. Wait, what's all this? Really cool. What's going on? It's just bots? Or did I miss something? Oh, I must have missed something in chat. What am I seeing? What are you seeing that I'm not seeing? Because I don't see the, I'm missing something. Oh, I see. Legacy. Oh, is it one of those again? So I added them to the auto block list. There was a suggestion that Sentive gave. So that anytime they posted that link, that would automatically block those messages. And now I don't even see them in my chat, actually, so that's good. I'm glad you caught those. That's really funny. How did you notice that? Do you actually have something as a mod? Because I'm in mod view. I should be able to see those messages still. I didn't see them at all. So to me, you just banned 2 people. Like, just came out of nowhere. I'm surprised. I don't know how you saw them. But thanks. I appreciate that. Alright, what am I going to do here? I gotta make the same thing every time. Seafood. I also have no idea what images I want from this. I don't think I'm going to get any. I might just try to sell some later on. You sure you didn't just block your own for you only? Good question. It should be part of the auto block list here. It is possible, yeah. Because I think I used Better TTV. But Better TTV doesn't do it automatically, right? Because that's a local client thing. So how do I do it? I guess I did it wrong. How do I do it in Like, another one. What do I do this? Let's see. Manage moderation settings. Aha. No, that's not it. Permitted terms, blocked terms and phrases. Add. Add term to block list. Privacy. Wait, what do you mean privacy? What? Okay, messages containing these terms will be blocked from chat. Terms are automatically added when a mod denies a caught message. So if I type this in now... Okay, well, I'm not a... it doesn't matter if I type something, it would never get blocked, right? Okay. I guess that should work. I have no idea. Yeah, you're right. I think it was just local only. It should be better now. Cool. Thanks for doing that, Gwen. Appreciate it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have actually noticed it then, because I blocked it improperly. All right, let me finish this thing up. I need just this, and then I'm out of here. And then I want to like go get lunch too. Wait, what? Did I get the wrong one? Wheat flour, seafood. No, I didn't get it. What? I guess I didn't finish gathering this. Yeah, so any other questions you guys have from chat? Any other arcade-related topics that you guys want to talk about? What the... Wait, he didn't give it to me. What? Wait, I'm confused. I used a royal ticket? I got... Wait, what? I used a royal ticket, but it didn't give me anything. What? It failed. What do you mean? It failed to give me anything. That's weird. Is that a bug? Okay, well I'll just retake the quest then, I guess. Huh. That's so weird. Collect royal vegetable bundle. Okay, that time it worked. Huh. That's so strange. Cody's yelling about something. I want to take him outside again. We have like a little carrying case that we bring Cody out on the balcony. He just looks at everything. He's just, oh, what's happening out there? Look at all these other birds. He saw a hawk once in the sky, like really, really small. You know how high hawks and eagles fly up in the sky, right? So you saw a hawk up in the sky, like all the way up there, all the way at the height limit for hawks. And he freaked out, of course, right? Because it's natural. It's nature for him to do that. He freaks out. He goes, ah! And then he just looks at it constantly. I mean, somehow by instinct he knows what a hawk is, which is very interesting. So he freaked out at that. I thought it was very cool. But he's inside of his box, so he's going to be fine, right? I just like to... He just literally went, oh! And then he just kept looking at it for a little while until it kind of went out of sight. Alright, nice. I also got another achievement there for doing something 10 times, so... No idea what I want to use these festival coins on, though. I don't think there's anything else that I want. At all. I haven't the slightest clue. And I don't want to use these Mystigons crystals right now. I think I'm just going to save up gold. I have a task agenda item to save up gold for the new vehicle upgrade system, which I really do want to participate in. So, honestly, I need to just save up gold for that. Especially, I'm still putting my money on that 7.0 is going to come out in October. Probably, if anything, early November at the latest. But, I don't know. Oh, I got a tasty sardine instead, that's why. Oh, wait, no, I didn't do the cat thing. Crap. Shit. I'm gonna go back. Anyways, I'm still putting my money on it being in October, alright? Japan is getting it on October 7th. So... we should be getting it sometime soon after that, right? I would think. Like it was last time, and the time before as well. Wouldn't it be nice if you could use festival coins for anything? I know, wouldn't it be nice? We've been begging for that forever, and I guess they finally did it in Korea, and they finally did it in C. So I hope they finally do it in Arcade Unchained and Arcade Legacy at some point too. That would be very, very nice, wouldn't it? Nice, no fall damage. Getting very good at that. Also, how am I doing in the rankings now for sports fishing? No! Damn it. Oh well. I got my 6 coins. That's fine. We're getting there over time. Go to the history house. I think I'm gonna be done. I'm tired. Tomorrow I'll probably stream as well, maybe in the afternoon when I find some time. But we still had some really good conversations for like an early stream today. In fact, we had a lot of people come to the stream right at the beginning, which is awesome. So if you guys want to know when I go live, please feel free to follow the channel. You can also follow me in all these other locations for social media because I let people know when I go live in those places, like the Discord for Arcade Research and Development, on my Twitter if you use Twitter. And then all of these streams are uploaded in full up to YouTube after the stream ends. So like in a few hours or so, you'll see it there in high quality. So if I did answer any questions for you guys during the course of the stream and you want to go and listen to it again, you can go and just watch it, right? It'll all be up there. It's really just up on YouTube for documentation and you know, video on demand purposes, right? So, or if you miss the stream, you can watch it, right? I guess that's a thing too. But really, I'm not focused on the YouTube channel. It's not really a profitable way. It's just something that I like sometimes put guides or highlights on so that people can always go to them if there's something that they need, right? You know, just by like searching through YouTube. In general, I focus on my Twitch stream. So again, if you like the content, go ahead and follow the Twitch channel. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it for today. I think I went over all the topics that I wanted to because I had a few things that I wanted to clarify up from yesterday that we got to, and then I learned some other information about. So we did that earlier on at the stream when we were talking about like these stats and things, right? If you have any questions on those later on, you could always bother us on Discord, right? Hop on to the Arcade Research and Development Discord, ask questions. Thankfully, we have a pretty damn good, positive community there, and I'm very happy about that fact, right? We have some awesome people there. Gwyn is there too. Billy Cool in chat. So, lots of very knowledgeable people there that can help out with different things. So that's it. I'm done. I appreciate everybody hanging out for this little bit of a shorter stream today. We had Cody on for about an hour as well. So if you missed that, you can go back in the VOD later on and see it. And see Cody just hanging around doing acrobatic stuff and cleaning himself and things. Because obviously Cody is the main character of the show. And I'll try to have him on as well tomorrow. So it's been a little while since you guys have seen me anyways on video. So hi. And now bye. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks everybody. Have a good day. See y'all.